All right, everybody, good morning and good afternoon. Welcome to the webinar. It is Clinic Growth Made Simple, the 7 essential systems to automate, systemize, and scale your PT clinic in 2021. Type into the chat if you can hear me and you can see me. You should be able to see me and you should be able to see me loud and clear. Tell me where you are from. We are expecting people from all over the world. It is wonderful once again to be here. Type into the chat. Tell me where you are coming in from. We can see Melanie. Hello, we are in the south of England. Sean says, I can hear and I can see you. We are in Idaho. Ajit, lovely to see you. Baron says, yes, good morning from California with a clinic in Vegas. I love it. We're either holidaying right now or you are a remote owner. Rachel from New York is with us. We're in Canada. We've crossed the border. We are virtually allowed to cross from the United States into Canada. Julian, wonderful to see you. Whereabouts in Canada? I was up in Montreal a few years back and a couple of trips to Toronto as well. Beautiful part of the world. We are in Nigeria. Oko from Nigeria. Wonderful to see you. Chad is in Lexington, Kentucky. I've been to Lexington. Great part of the world. Greg from Florida. Greg Todd, by any chance? From Florida. What's it like in Florida right now? I've heard it's a little stormy. I'm heading back out there next Sunday. I'm currently in the United Kingdom. I'm in my clinic here in Hartlepool. And I've literally just today booked my return flight back to the US next Sunday. So I'm very excited to get back to the US. However, not if it's going to rain and going to thunder every day. But that's typical for Florida at this time of the year, I guess. Weather is great today. Glad to hear it. Ashley Campbell, viewing from vacation in sunny Hollywood Beach, beautiful part of the world. Who else is with us? Type into the chat if you can see us and you can hear us. What's good while we wait for everybody to come on? We've got a few more spaces to fill. We're expecting another packed house today. 500 people interested in this live webinar. It is just after 4 p.m. in England, Saturday afternoon. It's a grey, cloudy day in the United Kingdom. It is 11 o'clock Eastern in the United States, and it is 8 o'clock on the Pacific coast. We'll have some people in from Australia too. So type it in. Tell me this. Let's kick off with some positive focus. What's really good about your life right now? What's wonderful? Your hopefully freedom is starting to, if not has already returned. The pubs hopefully are open in your area. There's some resemblance of a life for you that is not controlled by these people that we sadly are run by, these governments, these politicians who like to take control of people's lives. And we find out usually not long after that they've been doing the complete opposite of the thing that they told us to do for so long. I still cannot work out how people think that queuing in a line to vote for a politician these days does actually anything for anybody. Like I really am struggling to kind of understand how these politicians get any importance in anybody's life anymore, given that they're all just as bad as each other. Anyway, that's another story for another day. What's good in your life? Type into the chat. Let me know what's really, really good. Come on, type into the chat. Greg, Ashley, Chad, what's going on? Julian, Rachel, and everybody else who's coming in. Baron, Boje, Bill Parker, nice to see you. DT, Gail, hello. Greg, we've got Gregory Johnson, we've got JT, we've got James, Joe Rendina, nice to see you again, Joe, Julian, Ken, Kira, we've got Lee, Mariana, Mark, Melanie, Michael. Who else can I see? Type into the chat and let me know what is really, really good. Come on, we always start with positive focus. Let's get everybody warmed up. If you are brand new to my world, these sessions are interactive. We don't really do much unless the audience participates with me. So if you're there and you've given up a few hours, come and say hello. Type into the chat. Let's get this moving. Otherwise, the session really doesn't move on. So type into the chat. Things are opening up in Lexington. Life is starting to feel more normal. Also have a beautiful 5-week-old baby girl here with me. Love that, Chad. Well done. Just hired 4 additional physical therapists to join our team. Kira, that is amazing. Excellent. Well done. Ajit is going camping next month. Great weather. Happy to be alive and motorcycle riding. Great, Joe. Wonderful. New York City, wonderful place, is back in full swing. Good. Long overdue. Long overdue. What else? What else is really positive about your life right now? Tell me. Come on, type into the chat. Tell me this as well. What's your, before we get going, what's your origin story with me? Where did you find me? Was it a book? Was it a podcast? Are you a Paul webinar virgin? If you are, type into the chat virgin, or tell me where you found me. Was it podcast? Was it a book? How many books have you read? How many podcasts have you listened to? Was it a seminar? Tell me what your origin story is with the PG kind of Kool-Aid, if you like. Tell me what your story is. Come on, let's have a little fun. Where did you hear about me? Was it a podcast? Was it one of my books from Amazon? Was it at a seminar? IG, says Johnson. Does that mean Instagram? Does that mean you found me on Instagram? Social media, I think. Instagram is confirmed. Found you in a bar in Franklin, says Ashley Campbell. Yeah, that'll be right. That would be right. What else? Type into the chat. Franklin, Tennessee, wonderful part of the world. Heard you first on Jared Carter's podcast, then started listening to your podcast. There you go. I remember that conversation well, Ashley. Was that 2016, around about that time? Was it Trump we were talking about at the time? There you go. I predicted the rise of Trump, and nobody would believe me back in 2016. And obviously, history as we know it, I was proved right. Anyway, good. All right. If you're coming in, type into the chat. Let me know where you first found me, whether it was podcast or book or seminar, just so we can get a feel for people. I really would love you if you can hear the sound of my voice, which I assume that you all can. And many of you may be new. We've done a lot of marketing recently to find a lot of new leads, which is great. You should know I do these webinars and I absolutely love them. I play full out. I give you all my energy. I give you all my time. All I ever ask is just to type into the chat, just to let me know that you're there. It's not that big of a deal. Just when I ask a question, help me out, because the more that I get back from you, the more I can give you. It's a really simple philosophy in life. So honestly, if you can hear my voice, I'm live, I'm real. Don't think this is recorded. It's 100%. What's the date today? Saturday, the 26th of June. It is around about 4:11 in England, 11:11. I'm 100% live. This is not recorded. Don't think this is a robot talking to you. This is a guy who has like 2 eyes, a nose, a mouth, has a head, likes to watch TV, has a phone. Like, I'm real, live, and walking and talking, and I'm talking to you, right? So give me a little bit back. Like, type into the chat, because I'm going to ask you a lot of questions throughout this webinar. And the more that I get back from you, the better that I can play for you, the better that I can give you answers. So let's just not, like, you know when you first meet somebody and it's a bit awkward for 20 minutes or so. My tip is let's just pretend that doesn't exist, right? We're not allowed to do that. We're all good friends. Let's just pretend we've all had a few nights out. We've had a few drinks together. We all got drunk. We all had a few too many, and we're now good friends. We kind of know each other really, really well. I'm not going to say intimately, because I'm very happy in my relationship. I'm not going to say we need to know each other intimately, but it would be nice as if we were just kind of, friends, and we just kind of behaved and acted that way. And if a friend asks a question, I don't know about you, but I usually respond, right? And I assume that you probably will do the same. So let's set those little ground rules as we go on for the afternoon. Baron says, found you through Facebook as we started our company. Looked for inspiration for cash-based clinical practice. Hopefully you found it. Or did you find it? That's the question, Baron. You reached out to me on LinkedIn. Lots of good stuff. New Ops Manager is doing great. There's our marketing working, Melanie. I found you on Facebook. I've been following for a while. First seminar. Chad, very, very, very welcome with us here today. So, right, let's get going. Like I said, we've established a few Basecamp rules there. Gail says, found you on the internet. An ad for your books popped up and I was intrigued. Joining you from British Columbia, I think, in Canada. We did 3 years in, never going back to a regular clinic setting. Well done. Sean says, found me on Facebook. Facebook's got a lot to answer for, that's for sure. Found you on social media, then downloaded your podcast. Good. Chris Erickson, remember it well, met you at SSPT Live. Great to see you, Chris. Tutorial. So let's get into it. Clinic Growth Made Simple. The 7 essential systems to automate, systematize, and scale your PT clinic in 2021. So who's this for? We are full now. We are full at 500. So if you are not one of the following, please, would you leave the webinar, because we always oversubscribe and people get pretty antsy when they can't get into the room. So if you want to spend more time being an owner of a business, less time a PT, you like to position yourself out of the business, but still take home a nice big paycheck every month, and you want to set up systems in your business that means you can run your business from anywhere in the world. That was my goal. My goal was to set up the Paul Gough Physio Rooms, build the systems, put things in play in the business that allowed me to go and live in a much sunnier climate. Whatever your reason is, we'll get to it, I guess, as the afternoon goes on. You want to open more locations, and you want to do it with ease. You want to spend more time with family, but still make the same money. And you want to find more time to over-deliver on customer and clinical care. It's called growth by streamlining operations. You're an experienced PT clinic owner looking for new ways to grow the practice. Well, this is for you. You're new in business. I wonder how many new in business and have big plans to be ultra successful with a chain of clinics that have your name above the door. And you're a great PT, you're a great physical therapist, and you want to become a more successful business owner. So here's what you're going to learn. I'm going to talk you through the 7 systems. Many of you read the report that we put out last week, where I detailed 18 things that you could do to systemize your clinic. We're going to go through today what I believe to be the top 7. We're going to talk through automation and what I had to do to get from 1 to 4 successfully, and how to use marketing automation in your business. How to put this baby of yours on autopilot. I'm not an advocate that there is an easy button. You can't just press the button tonight and everything will be fine. There are things that you and I can do together to put into your business. That means that once that work is done, that you then don't have to work so hard. But be under no false illusion, none of this comes easy. I'm not an advocate of that kind of quick and easy pill. It does not exist, but it is 100% possible to stop doing as much grunt work, as I call it, graft or hustle. Graft is a word that we use in the northeast of England to represent somebody who works really, really hard all day, every day, and kind of physically does things. I do know that you can build a business that means that you don't have to do that every day. I'll show you how some business owners have used the systems to grow their business. It isn't just me that this has worked for. So here's a couple of questions. Start to think. I love to start all of my sessions, whatever I teach. I always start with positive focus. I always start with some interaction to get everybody warmed up. And then I like to start with a big question. Here it is. How big and how profitable would your PT business be if you kept all of your patients and every one of them referred you another? Have a think about that for a moment. Every patient that you ever get, it's a hypothetical question, right? And in reality, is it possible to do that? Probably not, right? But that doesn't matter. That's not the point. It's a question that when you start to think about it, allows you to view your business from a much higher vantage point. How big and how profitable, right? So if you're an experienced business owner, how big and how profitable would you be if you kept every single patient and every one of those patients referred you another? And if you're just starting out in business, how big would your business, or how could it be, how big could it be if you keep all of the patients that you're going to get and everyone referred you another, right? It would be huge, would be the answer, right? So I like to start there. Even though that might not be possible, what we can aim for is that outcome. And that outcome is possible with systems where we can get more people to stay with you and we can get more people to refer you. And because of that, you can have a much more successful business. And you don't have to get on the gravy train or the train that every business owner does, which is the constant, I need more patients. Well, some people do, right? But what I know all businesses need is better processes and systems to be able to scale profitably. Because I've learned from working and through my own experience and working with for 6 years now, clinic owners from all over the world, some of them very closely, that what happens is you scale, you make more money, but less profit. And that's a big thing we're going to talk about today. I want you to write this down. For you business owners, when you get towards $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 in revenue, pounds, whatever it is, you might be making some nice money. And the temptation is to move on to that next level. I can tell you for most businesses, they get to $1 million in revenue in total sales, and they're actually making less money take home. I'll say this again because this happens. And if you're not careful, this will happen to you. And it's the thing that I want you to take away from today. Most businesses lose money in the growth phase. They get to a point where they're doing well and they think, I can do more now. I'm at 200,000 and I can do 500,000. And what you find is when you get to 500,000 in revenue, which is your total collective sales before expenses, you're actually making less money at 500,000 than you were at 200. Anybody experience this? It is rife at round about $300,000. The minute you hit $300,000, trying to get to $500,000 and then again to $1 million, your profitability reduces. And if you're just starting out, this should be music to your ears because this will happen to you if you're not careful. You do not want to scale. As a business coach I once hired told me, do not scale a tumor. And that's what most business owners do. They have this kind of thing, this mess that's making some money. They don't really know what it's doing. It's disjointed. They decide to press the throttle on growth, and all of a sudden they're making more money, revenue, but there's less profit to be taken home. Everybody got that? That's what we're going to kind of think through as we go through today. So having the right systems in play is the only way to achieve this type of a business. A question that we're here to answer: what systems do you need so that your business makes more money without it being 100% dependent upon you? There's the question, right? Because you hear this thing and people say, you need to systemize your business. Absolutely, do you? And I remember years ago, I think, well, what systems? Like, what systems? Do I buy something? Do I buy Infusionsoft? Do I need to get this new fancy software? Some thing that'll kind of just make all of this come together? There's one thing knowing that you need systems, and who can resonate with this? There's one thing knowing that you need to systemize, which we all do. The question is specifically, what systems do you need so that your business makes more money without it being 100% dependent upon you? There is the $1 million question. Because there's no point in putting systems in place in this business if it ties you more to it. If freedom and autonomy is the thing that you want, right? Which secretly we all do. Every PT I know, I love treating patients, but then they're like, you know what? But I love spending more time with my kids, or I love traveling around Europe, or I love going to Australia, or I love being able to leave the business and be able to actually come back to one. Is that not what we're after? That's what this entire presentation today is all about. We're going to break down what systems you need so that your business makes more money, goal number one, without it being 100% dependent upon you. Anybody can show you how to build a business. I'm going to show you how to build a business that makes more money and it isn't 100% dependent upon you. I'm one of very few people that makes money from a physio business with his name above a door, his name on a website, his name on the t-shirts, his name on the logo, and isn't there every day. That's what we're going to get into today. So, why did I feel the need to systemize? Why did I feel the need to systemize? Everything good about the business was on me. Fine. But everything bad about the business was also on me. Not good. All of the pressure was on me. Patients wanted to see only me. Staff constantly wanted to speak to me. It was all on me, and that wasn't a place that I wanted to be. Can anybody resonate just for a moment? Any of those things ring home to anybody about the reason that we might need to systemize this little business of yours? Unfortunately, yes, says Baron. If you're new in business, here's why this is important to you now. We're going to show you how to fall into the trap of spending years inside your business, thinking that someday, Tim Ferriss talks about this in his book, someday is a disease that most people will take to their grave. You'll be able to get out of it. Hint, most never do. 99.9% of business owners tell themselves that they will one day be able to leave that business, and they won't. They are entrenched in it because they do not know how to build the infrastructure so that it does not rely upon them. If you're an experienced clinic owner, you can finally get out of the rat race, as we call it, on Planet Paul, and free yourself from the shackles that tie you to that business. Most importantly, too many of you are doing work well beneath your pay grade. There's full respect for $15 an hour work, and I absolutely think that's amazing. People have to do that, and people want to do that type of work. But if you're running the business, you should not be doing that. It's the equivalent of the pilot serving the nuts and pretzels on the plane, right? That just shouldn't be happening. And yet that's what most businesses are doing. Many of you on here, I'm going to say it again, are thinking of yourself as the pilot of the plane, yet you are serving me the nuts or the pretzels and the beer when the plane takes off. You sat in the pilot seat to take off. And then the minute the plane got in the sky after you started your business, you went to serving me beer and pretzels at the back of the plane. That's not the way to do it. That's not cool. That's the way you've got to start to think about these things. So I believe personally that business is just a mule for a terrific life. What other reason did you start this business? I'm going to let you just look at that for a second and ask yourself, what possible reason did you start this business other than for you to lead a terrific life? Because if you can find another one, I'd like to know. Now, sure, you want to serve patients and you want to give people jobs and you want to build a nice business and culture and you want to serve your community. Good. I love all of that. But you cannot look me in the eye and not with a giggle or a smile and try and tell me that you didn't build this business for you to live a terrific life as well as all of those things. Why wait any longer to build your business in a way that serves you and your family? Because I'm telling you, and I'll be very blunt and very candid very quickly, this PT profession is rotten at the core when it comes to people understanding what this business thing is about and how to actually build it in a way that sets you free. There are too many tired, stressed, overweight, unhealthy, wearing a gold medal around their neck as a badge of honor because they've worked for the last 15 years without a vacation any longer than 3 days. That's typical in this profession. It is rotten to the core with people who do not know how to build a business and as such have sentenced themselves to a life of being shackled to a business that does not pay them enough money to be shackled to that business. There's nothing in the world that you could pay me to shackle me to a business for 12 hours a day, miss out on my kids, not have the flexibility to be where I want, go where I want, travel when I want, be in which country when I want, eat when I want, go home when I want. Nothing. The entire reason that I built this business and the things that I'm going to teach you today was so that I could lead a terrific life. And I'm proud as shit to tell you that I do. Not one part of me has any remorse in telling you that I live a terrific life and now I've built 4 businesses and I'm not tied to any of them. Whatever country, wherever I want to go, however I want to do it, however I want to travel, whenever I want to travel, that's what's been built because of the systems that I'm going to teach you today. And like I said, I'm proud as shit to tell you that I've put them in not just one business, 4 of my own and hundreds of business owners all around the world. If you want to know how to stay in a business and make money and work 12 hours a day, I'm not your guy. If you want to know how to build a business, we're going to have to do some work. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to lie to you. We're going to have to do some work. We're going to have to put the hours in the beginning, but ultimately to free you up, to set you free from being this business being dependent and all of the people in it on you for it to make you any money. If you're still with me, that's what we're going to do in the next few hours. So for those of you who don't know me, I know we have many new people on, published author, former professional soccer physical therapist in my early years, and I'm a multi-clinic owner. We've got 4 practices around the Northeast. I'm actually in that building right now on the 3rd floor. We're on the 3rd floor right now, as Kevin McAllister once said. There's my books, or some of them, as we're shipping them around the world. And that's me in my very early years on the soccer field back in the day. My favorite role, proud daddy to 3 beautiful baby boys, Harry, Tobias, and Grayson in their England shirts. It's Euro soccer, big competition in Europe right now, which is great to be back in England for. And that's us on a recent trip to Portugal. We've just got back from Portugal about 10 days ago. We went to the Algarve, beautiful part of the world that I love to take the family to every year through COVID, or whether it's COVID, whether it's not COVID, we've traveled, we've done our thing. And I've been able to do the thing that I love the most, continue to travel, which is one of the reasons, like I said, I quit my job in soccer and started my own business. I'm a small business icon, winner of the Infusionsoft Award in 2016 for the systems that I created. Chris, you bet it's a big game on Tuesday. There's been a few of my staff kind of moving calls and making sure that we're all available for 5 o'clock on Tuesday. The intercompany HR system went crazy on Tuesday for a 5 o'clock gap, 2 hours in the system to allow us to get home. So I'm going to watch it with a few of the staff back at my house on Tuesday. England versus Germany, for those of you guys who don't know, it's the equivalent of the Yankees against the Red Sox, but bigger. I'm telling you, it's bigger. It don't get any bigger than England versus Germany for obvious reasons a few decades ago, but that's another story for another day. PaulGoughPhysio.com, Healthy Habit Book, PT Profit Academy, and check out the paulgough.com website for the podcast. So let's get into it. Turn off your cell phone, close down your internet browsers, have a pen and paper in hand, and focus 100% for the next 90 minutes on the things that I'm going to teach you. Here's the agenda. My story and how creating systems that leverage automation generally changed my life. Case studies of other PTs who've done what we are trying to do today. How you can accelerate and create these automated systems at your practice. And how we can do it together. I'll talk to you about that at the end. On the training, I'm going to show you how I did it. I'm going to be fully transparent with you. I'm going to show you exactly how I did it step by step. Then if you want to get everything you see in the next 2 hours, you can take the next step and work with me in my new and updated. It's the first time we've run this program for 2 years. We've updated it since COVID. PT Business Growth School is my flagship program. It was my original program that kickstarted the careers and businesses of many clinic owners around the world. We starting a new series of that on June the 8th for a small number of clinic owners. So if you like what you see today, I'll play full out. I'll give you everything. I'll tell you what you need to do. And then if you want to do it with me, we'll go deeper. And obviously I can give you so much more if you want to enroll in the program. And that's pretty much how it's going to work today. So have a think as we go through if that's what you like and you start to hear the sound of things that you think, I want more on this, Paul. I'd love to work with you and get more closely. Well, that's generally what we're going to do today. So my story, like I said, I started in professional soccer. It was a dream job. I loved it, but it was definitely holding me back from being the entrepreneur that I knew deep down. I never wanted to be told what. In fact, I hate being told what to do. I realize as I get older, I just hate anything, anyone, anywhere telling me what to do. There's just this thing that I can't let go of. If you tell me where to be, I'll probably tell you I'll be there the next day. And if you tell me what time, it'll be like the day after, right? Like I just do not like being told what to do. And I can quite honestly tell you I am 100% unemployable. I would never, ever be able to hold down a job. I'd never be able to do it. I couldn't handle being told what to do. So I quit. Started the Paul Gough Physio Rooms, my first baby, in 2007. It got off to a good start, but things turned bad when the recession hit and insurance companies cut my reimbursements fees as much as 50% overnight. In response to insurance companies dictating my life, I felt I had no choice but to figure out a better way to grow my business. I set about studying this thing. It's called education-based marketing. It really worked, and I've applied it to all of my businesses ever since. It exploded the company. But the next problem was this. In relative terms, we grew by 413% in less than 13 months. But the next problem was this. I had a ton of dazzling new ideas. I was building my patient database. It was pretty easy. I was seeing a new level of success. But pretty soon, the momentum fizzled, and I felt like something was missing. Unfortunately, I was right. My slides are just a little slower today. I was missing something that I really needed, something to control the chaos. I needed something to help me. I thought winging it without any clear direction was a perfectly fine way to build a physical therapy business. That was not the case. But then one day, hang on, my slides are going a little funny here. Let me just stop on Facebook and I'm going to come back onto this. Give me 1 second, everybody, for whatever reason. I'm just going to stop on Facebook and see if I can get rid of that. How do I quit? Stop live stream. I'm going to get rid of that. And then I'm going to get rid of all of these because something is slowing my computer down today. If you give me 1 second. Let me just do a quick stop share. I'll be back with you. Leave. Everybody. There we go. That should solve the problem. Right. I'm going to come back on. Share. Slideshow. Play from current slide. Can everybody see me again? Just type in to the chat. There we go. That's much better. Can you see me? And Can you hear me? Yes, great. That's much better. I've got rid of all of I think I had too many browsers open that was causing it. So let's go back. So most people in the industry do it, right? Wing it, literally wing the whole thing, right? And who can relate? They start a business and they think, okay, I'm a good PT. I will get a premises and I'll get some business cards. And because I'm good at what I do, I'm going to be able to build a really successful business, which doesn't always happen. Most people in the industry do this. And it was working well enough for me. I was making a profit. I was acquiring new patients and I was growing. So I assumed I was doing something right. But then one day I realized I was caught up in this thing, which we affectionately term the rat race. What is the rat race? For me, it's a way of life in which I was trapped in a fiercely competitive struggle for more success, more recognition, and more money. Who can relate? If you really think about it, that's the problem that we're in. We're just caught up in this thing. It's like we're struggling. We want more success. We want more recognition. We want more money. And no matter how much success we get, we want more. And how much recognition we get, we want more. And how much money we get, we want more. That's the rat race. I had very little time left over for personal happiness or satisfaction. That was a big issue. I realized I was in a no-win situation. And it would only mean that I'd be crowned what I call king of the rats. So even if I won, even if I got all of this success, even if I made this money, I was still going to be king rat, right? Which is not exactly where I wanted to be. I didn't go to PT school to come out at the other end and be crowned king rat. I discovered that my business had become an unorganized, unscalable mess. And all it was adding to the stress related to heart problem that I was previously diagnosed with at the age of 31. True story, 31-year-old, I was diagnosed with, at the time I thought I was having heart palpitations and at one point a heart attack. And I was diagnosed with an ectopic heartbeat at the age of 31 that I was told I was going to have to manage and figure out. It's stress related. Anytime I do too much, I get too angst, I get too pent up, if you like, then I've got a problem in my chest and it isn't good. It's not healthy. So I simply cannot tolerate getting into that position ever. And it's been a long time since I've ever felt any issues with my heart. So I had to figure out a way to build a business that would allow me to live the life that I wanted to live. It means I can put the effort in, I can put the time in, but I can never get to the point of worrying or feeling overwhelmed. If I do, my heart's in trouble. I know about it later the same day. So a question that I wanted to ask, really, and from retrospect, why do we business owners let things get so bad that it affects our health? You look around and you see how many people that are really, really struggling with their health, their physical body, their condition, their energy, their sleep patterns, their diet. A lot of it is business related. We think that if we win in business, then all of a sudden we'll be able to take care of our health. In reality, what it's got to be is we take care of our health and the business is going to be in a much better position. Another question, why do we wait until we realize we've missed out on so many things with our family before we do something about it by stepping away from the daily grind? Think about that question. Think about the typical business owner. Why do we wait until we realize, okay, 10 years, 15, I've been in business now for 15 years. And luckily, I could count on one hand the things that I've missed. And most of that would be just because it's a decision I made that I really wanted to be at with my kids, with my family. Why do most business owners get to 10 or 15, 20 years in and I think, you know what? I never got home for soccer. I never got home for baseball. Never got home for dinner. Never went on that vacation. Never did go to Europe. Never did go to Disneyland. Never did do this thing. Never did have Friday afternoon off to go and goof around and just play and chill and relax in the garden. Like, why? Why do we do it? Why? We do it simply because we're afraid that our business will fail without us being there all day, every day. Isn't that true? That's what many people think. They think that the business will fail without us being there all day, every day. Can you relate? Type into the chat. What's the reason that you're addicted to the business? The reason that we're addicted is nearly always because we think it will fail without us being there every day. Yes or no? The business owners that I know, when I first speak to them, it's like, I can't go on holiday because when I'm there, it works fine. When I leave, it doesn't. You can't. That's not possible. You can't keep going on like that. Nothing's going to change. If nothing changes, nothing changes. Write that down. Here's the first thing to write down. If nothing changes, nothing changes. If we don't do anything different in this business, well, then nothing's going to change next week or next month. You're just going to carry the same crap with you next month or the month after. I know that's not an accurate representation of reality. Businesses don't fail because an owner isn't there. They fail because of what the owner doesn't do when he or she is there. Let me say that again. Businesses don't fail. Write this down, take a screenshot of it. Businesses don't fail because an owner isn't there. They fail because of what the owner doesn't do when he or she is there. That's truth. That is the absolute truth. You keep doing the $15 an hour work, and instead, you'll get what you tolerate. If you make a pact, a beeline, if you like, to start to do the type of work that builds systems that allows you to leverage to grow your business, and it might take us 2 or 3 months, might take a month to do every system. So what? 6 or 7 months, you'll be there. You'll have the business that allows you to leave. Looking back, the number one reason I was struggling to deal with the chaos was because of a lack of systems at my practice. That was the number one thing. And when I realized this, it was hard to accept that to grow my business and remain healthy, I would have to let go. It made me feel vulnerable, insecure, and fearful that the people that I would employ would not provide the same high quality of care and service as I would. Who can relate to that? Looking back, I got it dead wrong. And since those crazy days, I've learned systematic ways for embracing and driving more sustainable growth at the Paul Gough Physio Rooms. I've got staff running the systems for me. I come out the other side with a much more profitable, hassle-free business. And I can tell you that my life these days is a hell of a lot easier now than it was back then. In the last 5 years, I've created systems in my business that means my business runs like clockwork, whether I'm in the country or not. No more working harder than I absolutely have to, and definitely no more rat race for me. Life is a lot more fun these days. I was talking about this with somebody recently. Fun is just, it's like this kind of word now that you're almost not allowed to say. It's like, is this cancel culture going to get rid of fun soon? That like you're not allowed to because of whatever reasons going on, things happening in the world. I just generally think people have forgot to laugh. They forgot to have fun. There's too many serious people in this world. And you know what? You know when you see somebody who's really serious, I know you've got a friend, probably multiple family members, definitely, who are just so serious about everything. And you know what it's code for? Struggling with life. Struggling with life. You show me somebody who is seriousness. To me, that is the biggest disease on the planet. Seriousness. Write it down. Seriousness is the real disease that's gripping this world. It is the biggest sign that people are struggling with life when you see somebody who is serious. And a lot of people take this business thing too serious too. They're so caught up in their ego that they have to look a certain way or behave a certain way, speak a certain way, appear to be a certain way. Most people, they're living a completely different life than the one they think they are. All right? They've changed that many times for that many people that they don't recognize themselves. They're trying so hard to be professional and look the part, play the part, that they forget to actually smile and have a little bit of fun. Who's with me? You don't need to type into the chat, but if I'm striking a chord, like we're kindred spirits, have some fucking fun, for crying out loud. Oh, that we swore. Oh, am I allowed to swear? Oh, I've just lost somebody. Somebody's just left the webinar. Oh, I've lost a customer. Fucking good. Do one. I'm not bothered. I didn't want to work with you anyway. Too miserable, right? You get it? I'm not even remotely interested in what somebody thinks about me. Have some fun. Enjoy your life. Travel. Live a little. Tell a few insurance companies to go FUCK themselves. Tell a few doctors to go FUCK themselves. Tell a few people on Facebook to go FUCK themselves. Tell your wife, your husband, your kids to go FUCK themselves, for crying out loud, if they're bothered about what you're doing. Parents, friends, aunties, uncles, the lot. If they're bothered about you, tell them to get a grip of their own life. You get it? Let's have some fun, right? Let's build a business. Let's build a business in a way that we can actually have some fun and not give a shit about what anybody thinks. And I assure you, it can be done. In fact, I don't know if there's even another reason to build a business than to get it successful so that you can stick two fucking fingers up at everybody who tells you how you're supposed to live your life. Have you noticed this? Everybody's got a rule for you. There's a rule for how you dress. There's a rule for how you speak. There's a rule for what time you're supposed to be at work. There's a rule for what time you come home for work. There's a rule now for what you're supposed to do with your kids. Like you pick them up from school and you take them to this class and you take them to this and then you get home and you're not allowed to let them on their iPads and you can't do this and your kids are not allowed to say this. And if you don't do this, you're a bad parent. And if you don't do this, you're a bad friend. And if you don't do this, you're a bad business owner. And if you don't do this, you're a bad person. It's like, who made these fucking rules? That's what I want to know. Who on earth made all of these rules, right? because they don't suit me. I'm telling you now, right? None of these rules suit me at all, categorically, right? Like I'm in a permanent fight with whoever made these rules, and I keep wanting to get to the bottom. You know, when people say this is my favorite, right? I'm sorry, I'm on a rant now, right? I'm on a rant, but I'm having a good time, so humor me, right? This is what pisses me off about life. When people say, they say you can't do this anymore. They say that this is how you now have to behave. They say this is now not appropriate behavior in 2021. I'm like, who the fuck's there, right? Who are they? Can you tell me? Because I don't know where all of this shit comes from, but apparently it's there. I'd love to meet there one day and have a good conversation with them about where all of this stuff comes from, right? Because it's not working for me. I'm telling you, like, categorically. I'm in a permanent fight with there because I want now to do with there and the way they live their bullshit lives and make up all of these rules. Anyway, that's my little rant for the day. The number one reason, I'm telling you, every one of you on here, if there is a reason to get good at business, it's to not have to give a fuck about anybody or anything, anybody telling you what to do anywhere in the world, period. Business can give you the ultimate autonomy if you do it right. I'm adamant it can, but you've got to stop living by everybody else's rules. And most of the rules that these PT business owners in our profession are telling you, you've got to do this, and you've got to dress like this, and you've got to say this, and you've got to live like, you're only got to go on one holiday. You've got to use insurance, and you've got to take this insurance, and you've got to be this, and you've got to be the other, and you've got to, it's like, for fuck's sake, is this like, it's driving me mad. I'm not bothered. I'm not even remotely interested in it. So anyway, the moral of the story, let's have some fun, people. Like, we're allowed. We can laugh. We can tell jokes. We can humor each other. We don't have to take each other seriously. Nobody has to get like on their high horse if we say something that somebody disagrees with. Let's just enjoy life, right? And the best way to enjoy it is to stick two fucking fingers up at the rest of them, right? And that's kind of what I'm trying to preach through everything that I do with my books, my podcast, my business coaching, whatever you call it. What do you call it? Kool-Aid? You just think I'm speaking out my ass, talking crap, whatever, right? It's totally up to you. I'm telling you, it works still, right? So anyway, that's me on a few little trips around the world and SeaWorld and various other places. My favorite, it's always at Disney there. Can't beat a good trip to Disney on a weekend with the kids or SeaWorld. I'm still a fan of Shamu. So what else have we got? So I learned how to spend more time with family and yet make more money, right? That's pretty cool. I'm telling you now, right? I'm not here to brag, but I'm going to tell you anyway. I figured out how to spend more time with the kids and yet still make more money, right? And I don't know if I'm allowed to say that because it's not politically correct and somebody might cancel me next week, but I'm going to say it anyway. It's fucking brilliant. Spending more time with my kids and making more money doing it, right? Shove that up your ass, politicians. Grow and scale the practice successfully without even having to be there. Who knew that was possible? Have my name above a door, as you can see, but have others do all the work. Streamline operations so that we can spend more time with our patients. Even better reason to do all of the stuff that I'm teaching you today. If you can figure out a way to spend more time with your patients, you'll get better results and they'll pay you more for it. It's a beautiful cycle to get into. So I learned how to open more locations with ease, how to get my business into a position that if I wanted to, I could sell it. I found more time to write books, 5 of them these days. Started a second business, helping PTs like you. I invest in real estate. I've started a letting real estate agent. I've started a lucrative speaking career. I've spoke all over the world and met some really cool people along the way, from Jerry to Jared, Andrew Verton, Judy over in Phoenix, Steady McGee. I just had some wonderful times over the years. I get to travel with the kids. That's us off to Australia. In Disney, we went to see, I think it was Mr. Obama at the time, San Diego, Philadelphia to see Rocky, a little bit of time in New York. Hung out with Gary Vee in Phoenix when I won my award. Hollywood Park, my boy looking really, really cool. And you always got to finish with a Disney one back in Epcot. So the business has been good to me, but only because I did everything that I'm teaching you today. These days I make less, but make more, or work less, but make more without bumbling and fumbling through the process. I realized that the more systems that I have in my business, the easier it is for me to position myself out of the business and have others do the work for me. The personal satisfaction I get from owning a successful business is that I help people live active and healthy lives. That's the justification for the work it takes. And the long periods of time I get to spend with the kids doing what I want to do when we want, that's ultimately the reward. I'm not the only one. I wanted to show you that I'm absolutely not the only PT that has benefited from this. I've since taught hundreds of PTs how to do it, including Andrew Vertson. We started working with Andrew about 6 years ago. Within 10 months of using the systems, we grow by 30%, and that's in California, a state where there's been huge cutbacks in insurance reimbursements. He spends now 4 days a week at home, pick up the girls from school, and he found time to start a second business as well. Oliver was one of our very early clients that we put these systems into his business. Within 3 months of using the systems, doubled the number of appointments, been able to hire a full-time secretary, meaning he can do less of the paperwork and spend more of that time instead at home with his beautiful family. He's in a position to be searching for a full-time staff PT to spend even more time doing the things that he wants to be able to do. So that's it. Let's get into the content. Have your hand out ready and take notes. We're going to go very deep into these systems. To be clear, this is not just about showing you how to grow your PT business so that you can move and live anywhere you want. That's just what I wanted. Okay, I wanted to move to Florida, even a different country, and still make money. It's not about that. It's much more important. It's about me showing you how to create the freedom of choice so that when all of this is done, you can do with your business what you want. Type into the chat if you are clear on that, and let's get into it. Systems and automation, the foundation for a successful PT clinic that grows without you. So why does it work? Well, most have no real systems. What they have is a system of sorts that is usually kept in the owner's head. Who can relate to that? Right? If I challenged you, Kira, can I pick on you? Mark, if I challenged you, you tell me, oh, I've got systems. Paul, I have these systems, but they're all in my head. Who can relate? Who can relate to that? The systems, they're there. But they're all in your head. Why? Because when they started out in business, the systems simply weren't needed. Let's think about this, right? Let's go deep. Why are the systems in your head? Because at the beginning, you didn't need to write these things down. You didn't need to have them. Most never expected to grow so big, or back then, didn't dare to dream this big. Some of you, I believe, didn't dare to dream this big. You never got to the point in the beginning, right? Who can relate? In the beginning, it's just about survival. The first year or two, I remember what it was like. I just wanted to survive. I just wanted to eat on a weekend. I just needed some money to pay my rent and mortgage and bills. I didn't dare to dream that I could get to full clinics and actually make some money from this thing. And I think for many businesses, you might be able to relate to this. Sadly, that's where they stay. They stay in survival mode, which is not good, really, if you're trying to get to, the next step. So let's start with a simple definition of a system. How you do the work of your business. Important stuff like how you differentiate between you and all the other PTs in town. One of the systems that you need is a system that allows you to communicate what makes you different. How you welcome new patients to the clinic. We can systemize that. How the receptionist or front desk girl greets patients and interacts with them. How staff PT and receptionists answer commonly asked questions. How to get great testimonials online. These are systems. These are things that we can systemize in the business to make it happen on point every single time. What about who knows they're guilty of this? Hands up if you're guilty of this. We all know that the best customers come from referrals. But how many of us actually have an automated system to get more referrals? Type into the chat. So systems can help you build something bigger that you still run, but you don't have to work so hard in anymore. So let's consider the definition of automation. The use of technology or software to make important processes happen the same way every time. Now, let's get this clear. Automation doesn't mean that you're trying to cut humans from your business. I know some people think, oh, great, if I automate everything, I don't need people. You do, right? You're not trying to cut rid of them. You're just trying to cut out their mistakes. That's all this is about. It's about the humans in your business leveraging automation so that more things get done right every time, whether you're there or not. That's what the point of all of this. So next, let's consider another definition of automation: occurring spontaneously without conscious thought or attention. Now, the problem for most businesses is that the spontaneous reaction from their staff isn't always the one they want it to be. Yes or no? Who can relate to that? the actual response, the spontaneous response of somebody who isn't in a business that's got systems and processes isn't necessarily always the one that we want it to be. An example, ask your staff PT or receptionist to describe what a PT even does. Has anybody done this? Every day they will give you a different answer. I'm going to ask you to do this week. I'm going to ask you to do a few things this week. Ask your staff PT or receptionist to describe what a PT even does. Ask them every day this week, and I promise you, you will get a different answer. And you wonder what the problem is? So we need to have an automatic, a systemized, scripted response that's an accurate representation of the value that you add to people's lives. That's ultimately what this is about. Because if they aren't clearly able to articulate this every time, how can they convince a patient of the true value of what you do when faced with copay or cash pay issues? That makes sense? Like, if we can't communicate it consistently, how can we grow reliably or consistently? So these are the things I think that you've got to get done. Number one, these are the systems. These are the things you've got to be able to do. You've got to be able to automate the USP. This is your unique serving proposition. It's how you answer the question of what makes you different. So what makes Kyber differently? What makes Kira different? What makes Chad different? Baron, Mark, Gail, Sean, Mark, who else is up here? Chris Erickson. What makes you guys different? Chad, Kevin, Bojan. Like, this is, like, if you guys get asked, like, what makes you different? You've got to be able to communicate that. You've got to be able to use it in all of your marketing and clinic processes to regularly communicate what makes you different from the competition. It's how you're able to demonstrate the real value of what you do for people in exchange for their money in such a way that they can easily justify paying for it. If your entire staff aren't clear on what your USP is, then business growth becomes almost impossible. Not knowing it opens you up to what we call apples to apples comparison with every other PT in town, all advertising the same thing as you. Not knowing this is also why most PT clinic marketing fails, because there's nothing unique about the clinic. There is, but they don't know how to communicate it. And is also why a lot of PT owners are these days running into more and more issues with things like copay or higher costs associated with paying cash or out of network. So when it comes to describing what they do, most PT businesses will say they do something like, we get you out of pain, or we recover function. That's what most PTs will say. I get somebody out of pain, or I fix their function. Fine. But the problem is, that's also what your competition is saying as well. So you need something that is a lot more emotive and speaks to the person in such a way that makes them come to their own, this is the key, logical conclusion that you're the perfect clinic able to solve their specific problems. And with that, they can then justify paying the extra costs now associated with their healthcare. Does that make sense? So what we have, if we've got an issue with pushback from a patient, we've got a failure at the communication level. And more likely, we've got a failure at the training level, the systems level, so that we can get something that's predictable and reliable and that clearly communicates with the patient. This is what makes us different, and this is why we're worth the extra $50 to $100. So my clinic's USP, at the Paul Gough Physio Rooms, we help people keep active, mobile, and free from painkillers and out of the doctor's office. That's ultimately what makes us different from anybody else. This is interwoven into everything that we do, even payment conversations. There's a newspaper ad on the left. That's the homepage on my clinic's website. That's the front of one of my clinics, clearly displaying the message, keep active, independent, free from painkillers. So all of this gets interwoven into everything that we do, from marketing externally to communication with patients internally. So here's a fun task. Ask the staff, what does this clinic do? I guarantee every single member of your team, I don't care who you are on this webinar, I guarantee every single member of the team will come up with something completely different in response. Heck, if there's more than one PT in your office right now, I bet you two don't or can't even agree on the definition of it, let alone what your organization even does. And we wonder what the problem is. We are, remember I said at the start, we are scaling a tumor. We are scaling variabilities. We are scaling irrationalities. We're scaling variability evils, as a mentor once called it to me. If you've got variabilities in your business, which is people doing different things, different ways, and you try to grow that with marketing, you're just growing a very inefficient business, which is why, like I said at the start, many businesses get to $500,000 and are actually making less money or more money than when they're making $1 million in revenue. The business owner takes home less pay at $1 million many times than the business owner at $500,000. So after this webinar is over, ask everybody in your office to write down what they think you really do. Just write down the first thing that would pop into their heads. What do you do to help somebody like me? The answer will shock you and make you see how important it is you sort this out ASAP. So why do you need this? Because if your staff aren't clear on what you really do, how can you expect them to consistently serve in the way that you want them to when you're not there? Remember what I promised you at the start. Any of us can make money when we're there. Most people could teach you that. This is about making money even if you're not there. If you want to be shackled to the business, great. But if you want to be free from the business, you've got to be able to look at this and go, okay, cool. How do I make money without being there every single day? Getting clear on this USP means you can use it in all of your marketing materials so that you can improve your communication with potential. Virginia, just to confirm, we're not sending out a replay on this. There's no replay. I'm sorry, there won't be a replay on this one. Lisa, I think we did agree not to send a replay out on this one. So there's no replay coming out, guys, on this session. Sorry for that little miscommunication. We will not be sending a replay on this. So please take your notes on this. This is, I said it, there's no repeat, nothing. There's no replay coming out. So please take your notes and do not leave today because there's nothing coming out. Getting clear on this USP means that you can use it in all of your marketing materials so that you can improve your communication with potential new patients to win. So system number 2, value added welcome system. What is it? Simply, it's what we do to make the patient feel special and welcome before they arrive and give them a clear understanding of what they're really paying for before they are asked to pay for it. We call it a value added welcome system. What we do to make the patient feel special and welcome before they arrive and give them a clear understanding of what they're really paying for before they are asked to pay for it. Because at my clinic, they're not just paying for PT. Remember, we're paying, or you're paying me to keep out of the doctor's office. You're paying me to keep active and healthy, avoiding surgery. That's the difference. If you're charging for PT and I'm selling out of the doctor's office, avoid surgery and off pills, nobody wants PT. They want the outcome. You've got to be able to clearly explain that to patients from the get-go in your original system and then in the welcome system. So come on into the clinic. All right, what happens next? We have to be able to continue to keep, and remember, all of this is wrapped up under the banner of, if you want a business that doesn't rely upon you, you need these things happening consistently. How do we do this? From day one, patients get entered into our automation software. They can now be sent a sequence of emails telling them more about our practice, reinforce our USP, and explain who we help and how. This makes the prescription a lot easier for the PT come the end of the evaluation. So we aim to put them at ease with videos and information that confirms they made the right decision. No buyer's remorse. The reason that you get people who say yes to a plan of care and then cancel is called buyer's remorse. They make a decision on the day, but then the next day they cancel it. Because they've been further informed, so we've educated them, we've informed them, and we've enlightened them. Okay, the best buyers are educated. How many of you have been around my well? I'm just going to give you an example. How many of you have been around my well for a few years, right? If you have, and even if you've only been around for a few weeks or a few months, what I think you'll notice about my business versus many other consultants or many other marketing companies is the number of things that we do to educate you. It's undeniable that we are the leader in the industry when it comes to education, non-negotiable, from the books to the number of, if you can find somebody who's wrote more books, produced more podcasts, gives out more information in terms of free reports, videos, staff training videos. Heck, we give so much information to you. We have people on the phone to you. We have people talking to you. We have people giving you strategy calls. We have people giving marketing plan calls. We have people sending out marketing plan PDFs, reports. Our entire business is built on educating, as is my physio business. Is there any, do you think there might be a reason I do that? And I continue to do that Let me contrast what I do. Let me give you a real world understanding of the importance of this. Most of the people who do what I do on Facebook, they promise to make you rich. And they'll promise you, if you sign up with them within 2 weeks, they'll get you 97 million patients. I give you information to educate you, right? And it might be that I can make you rich, but I don't often say that at the beginning. The difference in my marketing is, hello, here's a book. Read this book. If at the end of this book, you like this book, maybe we can do more business together. But here's a newsflash. I'm testing you as much as you're testing me. Because if you don't want to read the books, and you don't want to come on the webinars, and you don't want to read the free reports, candidly, I don't want you as a customer, because you won't be any good, right? This entire thing relies upon people who are willing to be educated in order to grow their business. Sorry for breaking the bad news to everybody, but that's the truth. So when I watch all these companies who are promising you all of this make money overnight shit, it's disastrous for everybody. Education wins. It takes me longer to get customers, but I get the best customers. I don't put 7-minute podcasts out on purpose. I don't want people with the attention span of a goldfish. I don't want people who only want a 3-minute podcast or a tweet or an inspirational quote on Instagram. I couldn't give a shit. That is not my customer. My customer understands that to make real progress, it needs education. It needs 2-hour webinars, 3-hour webinars on a Saturday afternoon, podcasts that last an hour, books that are 300 pages long that you might get to the end of, because that's where the progress is for both of us. I can't help somebody who doesn't want to help themselves. And guess what? It's the same in my physio clinic. I don't want somebody that signs up today and wants to give me $3,000 because they get buyer's remorse tomorrow. I want somebody who over a period of time understands who I am, what I'm about, buys into my principles, buys into me, buys into my team, buys into what we stand for, who then wants to buy from me. And that's the difference. All these other jackasses teaching you all this shit to make money overnight, it don't fucking work. It never worked, and it never will work because it defies every ounce of logic. The best customers are educated in advance of giving you money. It's why they then don't ask for it back. They don't want refunds because they're educated. They made the decision to hire you. You didn't just do something to excite them. Does that make sense? That is exactly what I've built all of my businesses on. This education company, it is an education business. People are your marketing company. It's an education business. We work with business owners to educate them on how to build a business. It takes time. It doesn't come overnight. There's nothing that's good that comes overnight. You cannot go to the gym for 24 hours and expect to be fit. You will end up in the emergency room having had a heart attack if you spend 24 hours on a fucking treadmill and you haven't done any training for it. Do you get it? It is no difference with business. And I'll tell you it straight, and always do from the get-go. We want nobody that thinks that this shit happens overnight. And I want no patient that thinks that this stuff happens overnight. If you arrive at my office and you think I can fix you in 45 minutes, you must be joking. This will take time, Mr. Smith. Why? Because you've lived with it for 3 fucking years. And I cannot get rid of it in 45 minutes. And any PT who thinks that they can is lost up their own, pardon the French, proverbial ass, right? Common, I know. But that's why they're all frustrated when patients don't come back after 2 sessions, because they've tried to promise them something that they cannot deliver on. Educate these customers. They will stay with you for life. Here we go. Contrast that with what most clinics do. Hey, I've got an insurance form. I've got a referral from a doctor. Will you get me fixed? This is the typical modus operandi of a business. There's no education. Nobody understands it. There is no value added to the clinic or by the clinic to the patient in advance. It's not systemized. Sure, there's a nice girl on reception and there's a nice hello, sit down. That's not customer service. That's baseline stuff. You're not helping anybody understand what you can do to truly help them at the level that is needed for them to want to spend money with you, and crucially, keep spending money with you. Back to the question at the start. This is where all this links. What would you do if all of the customers stayed with you for life and then referred? Well, the reason that they don't is because this type of thing isn't happening. Give them the warm, fuzzy feeling. Don't just offer them a cup of coffee and then close the window in the room, in the reception, and get back on with pissing about on the phone like most receptionists do. It's ugly. It's horrible. But that's what's going on in most clinics. An example of how we might do this, email number 2 sent within 24 hours of booking an appointment. Do I have to take my clothes off? We literally send them a video that says, do you have to take your clothes off? And the subject line is, do you have to take your clothes off in Paul's clinic? It's had thousands of views. It's on YouTube. You can find it. It's a true story. The lady in the middle there, Vicky, is the operations manager of my business. She came to me as a patient. If you don't know the story, she came in with a bad shoulder. And she asked me, Paul, do I need to take my clothes off? I said, no, you do not need to take your clothes off. I can work just fine with what you've got on. I walked out of the door. She didn't hear me. She was nervous. I walked back in and she had no clothes on. Fine, right? Not such a big deal in a therapist and patient environment. However, that girl went on to apply for a job at my office 3 weeks later. There's not many people in the building who I've seen naked, and Vicky is one of them. That's an interesting conversation to have had, most definitely a few weeks after she took a job, right? Now, what we found one day was that she told a patient the exact story of how embarrassed she was that she took her clothes off in front of me. And heaven forbid, people laughed. They thought it was funny. And they thought, you know what, that's such a fun story. I really love that. And we went, why don't we put that on video? Because if it makes 1 or 2 patients laugh before they arrive, we've already put them at ease. And we still tell them to this day. And people respond to that email and telling us, and here's the quote, I love you guys. I know I've made the right decision. And I go, but we haven't treated you yet. We haven't even touched you for physical therapy. And yet you know you've made the right decision. Why is that? Let me explain, ladies and gentlemen, because nobody actually buys the thing that you think you're selling. You think you're selling PT, and ultimately what you're selling is an emotional attachment, a solving of a problem, both emotionally and physically. Most people are not interested in the PT. That's just an arbitrary thing that we have to do. What they're interested in is how you make them feel while you do the thing that they're paying you for. That's the difference, and that's what systems allow you to do. Like I said at the start, if you have some fun these days, people do actually resonate with it. If we don't take life too seriously, we've got some personalities in the company, let's make sure that the people know about our personalities, because they're the real differentiator between my business and the dude across the road who's formal as shit. Mr. Professional over there, good for you, with all the certificates on the wall, formal. It's all Mr. and Doctor, good. It's Paul. My name's Paul. Just call me fucking Paul, right? Don't call me anything else. Like, that's all I want to be. I'm just a dude who happens to know a bit more about back pain than you, and I can fix it, right? Let's just crack on. And if we get it to that level with individuals, with humans, it becomes a human-to-human relationship. And that's ultimately what I believe people actually want. Put a video. So, Lisa, if you can find that, it's on YouTube, Paul Gough Physio Rooms. Put it into the chat. It's on the Paul Gough Physio Rooms YouTube channel. So why is all of this stuff important? Physical therapy is what they expect us to do. The experience is the thing they didn't expect us to do. So we can be good at what we do in the treatment room, but if you're focused on it, we will lose to the PT who gives patient a better experience. Since we've started this, we get less no-shows and less resistance to care plans. So we build in to the system when they arrive at the clinic, to be clear, when they arrive at the clinic, we build in some automation and some systemizing of the things that we want them to know about our clinic that makes us different from everybody else. That's, again, allowing me to be aware. My team's personality, my fun, my DNA, if you like, is still in this business, even though I'm 3,500 miles away. Even if one of the secretaries is having a bad day, the patient still gets an experience what we really are about as a clinic, because it's automated, it's on video. We built all of this stuff in. System number 3, we call it a win-back system. What is it? It is a way of reversing the decision of a patient who originally said no. We want them to say yes. It's one of my most profitable systems, easily. In fact, if I bought your business, every one of you on here, if I bought your business, the first thing that I would do is I would put this system in. I would win back the patients who said no. Most people currently believe that that's not possible, but it absolutely is. Most patients leave a PT clinic and the owner thinks that it was down to money that the patient said no. And yet rarely is that the truth. I know without any question of doubt that it's simply not true for most patients. Sometimes they've made what we call excited decisions because they haven't been educated, like what I was saying earlier, at the beginning to come and see you. The expense was the only thing that they could think of to slow the decision-making process down. What often happens is that a month or two later, that patient still hasn't received the care that they need. So they said, hey, I've got no money. I'm going to go somewhere cheaper. I bet you 50 to 60% of the people who tell you that don't go anywhere else. When you call them back or you build a system of phone calls and scripts and emails and even some letters, you will get 50 to 60% of them who still haven't done anything about their problem. Nothing changed except that they now accept that they need you a little more than they did. The system works because it's very unlikely that a patient will call you back of their own free will. Why? They feel silly and stupid. They said no in the first place. Ego kicks in, pride. All of this gets in the way of people actually buying from you. They also think that you think that they're tight, that they don't want to spend any money with you. And all of it's getting in the way from ever coming back. So what you want is a system for nurturing that patient back to the clinic. On average, we found out over the year, 6 out of 10 patients who said no to us come back within 3 months. Do the math on that. For every 10 patients who say, no, I can't afford it, or no, it's not the right time, if you can get them back within 3 months because of a system in your business, what would that be worth to you? And here's the best bit, they're always better patients. They've either tried some other crappy provider or they're in a worse condition than they were. They're a lot more humble when they come back 3 months down the line. System number 4, we call it the never-ending discharge system, which takes you back to the question, what would happen? What would happen if you never lost a customer? What would happen even if, right? Let's just take this all the way back because this is possible. What if we just kept in touch with every customer? I'll say it again. What if we just kept in touch with every patient you've ever had or are likely to get, whether through email, through phone call, or through a letter? How big would your business be if you never stopped marketing? I know some of you are on here who haven't done business with me, interacted with me for 2 or 3 years. You know how I found you on LinkedIn? Because you give me your details. You give me your contact details 3 years ago. You may have unsubscribed from me from an email. You may not have seen me on Facebook, but I had a feeling I might find you on LinkedIn. I know there's at least 80 people on here who have stopped interacting with me through email, and I found you on LinkedIn because you give me your details. So I've kept in touch with you, and you're on this webinar today. Please, I'm promising you this stuff works. I spend more money now in my businesses on customers than I do new leads. I direct mail them. I LinkedIn them. I Facebook message them. I Facebook remarket them. I banner ad remarket these people. I have staff on the phone to these people, possibly yourself as you listen to this. It's never ending. Once you are a customer or you've shown any interest, the biggest sin in business is to let that interest go. I say it all the time to my staff. Ultimately, the real asset in these businesses is not my information, is not my physio's skills. The real asset is the customer list. And every name that goes on that list, your business should, in theory, get more stable and more valuable. When we use a discharge system that never ends, it basically means that you're going to keep in touch with patients long after their care finishes. Who will admit to not doing this as well as they should? Who realizes every now and again that they haven't sent an email and then sporadically does it? Who thinks, oh, we haven't posted on social media for a while, that'll do? Who thinks, oh, we haven't called any patients for, 3 years, maybe we should give them a call, even though the dentists send you a text and a phone call and a letter every 6 months, and you likely respond to it. The system is a sequence of automated emails pre-written to engage with and constantly connect with patients. On discharge, the patient gets entered into our CRM software and includes scripts. We've got 24-hour and 30-day phone calls, and we call them quality control. So after 24 hours, we call up, we've got a cool script. Hey, 24 hours ago, you had a session. How did it go? Yada, yada. Hey, it's been 30 days since you got discharged. How did it go? The most money always gets made on day 30. If you call your patients with a good script on day 30 and ask them some version of, are you 100%? I bet you 2 or 3 say no. 2 or 3 say, actually, I'm not 100%. I thought I'd be better at this point. Maybe I need to come back. And they do. So the system works. If we're sending emails and we've got the right phone scripts, the key is getting the right phone scripts. You can't just call up if you don't know what you're going to say. If you have the right scripts, you've got a chance. More referrals is what you get from friends and family of patients using the information that we give them. Success stories. Would you be willing to come and do a video? Is what we ask them in these emails. We ask for reviews online. We give them links to Google and Facebook. He's a real what they call a writer downer, right? Write this down. When you're sending these emails and asking for reviews, here's what you're going to say. You're going to love this. I'm going to earn my money right now. If I give you a 5-star experience, please log into Google and leave me a review. If we didn't give you a 5-star review, please hit reply. Gold. Solid gold. I'll say it again. This is just one example of the emails and the kind of clever way, if you like, of keeping in touch with patients. If I give you a 5-star experience, please log into Google and leave me a review. If we didn't, I'd prefer you to tell me personally. Please hit reply. So I'm avoiding a negative review. More likely to get a 5-star review. Keeper, I might challenge you there. Sometimes the schedule gets hectic, calls are difficult. That's a symptom of a recruitment problem. Why don't we hire somebody so that we've always got somebody on the phone? There is no greater way of putting patients on schedule than the telephone. It baffles me how many physios don't see themselves as needing somebody. Once you've got a patient database, if you haven't got somebody making 25, 30, 40 calls every day to those past patients and asking simply how you are, I swear you are losing a small fortune. Every Monday, the number one thing that I want to know is not leads. How many phone calls did we make to past patients? Because that's where the lowest hanging fruit is forever. But for some reason, the rules, here we go again. The rules of a physio clinic are that we don't call patients. We wait for them to call us. Complete BS. The money, if you've got any reasonable past patient list, the certainty in business is where you get somebody on the phone and you're constantly calling the patients. Hey, how are you? What's going on? It's been a while. Anything you need? You'll get 3 out of 10 back every time you call. We give them opportunities to buy other products and services. Massive upsell opportunity if done right and in the right way. Also asks them to come back and see us. So we automate text messages and emails and a letter at 6 months and 12 months for a review or what we call to top up their health. So we don't say, are you in pain? We say, hey, let's come in for a review and or top up your health. It's very difficult for somebody to say no to topping up their health. Is this making sense to everybody so far? We're doing a good job? Type into the chat and let me know how I'm doing. For most PT businesses, the last thing the patient remembers is the sound of the credit card machine taking the money. Think about it, right? So what we're trying to do is make sure that full value for their dollars is received and felt. Do not give up on the relationship just because they aren't giving me money now that they're better. Number 5, automating excellence. If I'm not constantly training and retraining, I'm falling behind. I realized a long time ago that the most important part of my business was happening in the weekly staff training workshops that we hold. They happen every Wednesday starting at 9 and finish at 12. How many of you have seen my YouTube videos where I would train staff? I did it back in the day, 5-6 years ago. I used to record them all every Wednesday. Anybody seen them? They're on my YouTube channel. There must be 100. We recorded everyone every Wednesday for 2 years. Every single thing we went through. What if a patient says this? What if a patient does that? What if a patient tries to cancel? What if a patient's being a complete idiot? How do you get rid of them? What if a patient wants to not to pay? Every scenario we went through every Wednesday for 3 hours. I recorded all of them, put some of them on YouTube, kept obviously some behind the scenes. They're in a vault. Staff use them every week still to this day. Every Wednesday, my team go back through these videos and train around the problems that we've got in the clinic because I did it on video. And numerous people use my staff training videos for their staff training videos still to this day. In that time, everyone is involved and no one is treating patients or answering the phone. I will not allow it. So what happens? Well, we role play everything. Scenarios that have happened to the admin staff that week. Evaluations that didn't go so well. We talked through if we didn't convert a patient. If we didn't upsell at the level we needed to, we talked through it. We revisit evaluation and telephone scripts. So like the guy or the gal on the front desk is the one who makes you your money, not the physio, right? The physio costs you money. The guy or the gal on the front desk is the one that makes you the money because they're the ones that get the patients bought in. Think about it. So we revisit the evaluation scripts every week, the phone scripts every single week. we crown our company core values champion. We'll have presentations on customer service and continuing education from the physios. The physios audit each other's own notes, improving communication between the team. And it has had a breathtaking impact on the business. Why? Think about it. The happiest people on earth are those who are constantly learning. The people who are mourning it, I don't even know you, and I don't know your clinic, but I can tell you, you show me the ones who are miserable, and I'll tell you the ones who are not growing. I'll tell you the ones who, the only books that they read are 50 Shades of Grey or whatever, but they certainly ain't reading anything along the lines of personal development. They're not growing as people. The happiest people are growing. The ones who are giving you all the hassle are the ones who are bored because they're not growing. Staff, and by the way, I've noticed that it doesn't make any difference. In 2 countries, the ones who are not growing are the ones who are bored and irritable at work. Staff are more committed and more engaged, and patients feel the difference. Here's the problem, though. My travel and other business opportunities meant that I wasn't always around on a Wednesday. Most of the times, it wouldn't go ahead if I wasn't there. So we were sporadic. Back to the point. Everything relied upon me. This is what this entire webinar is about. It cannot rely upon me. If I have to be there, it's no good to me. It's got me shackled to the business. So if I was, my energy, my direction, and my momentum wasn't there because I was coming and going now. I was traveling between the US and the UK constantly. So I had to figure out a way to automate the whole thing. I created a 90-day schedule of weekly training that would see us train and retrain according to what we call the new patient life cycle. The entire journey that the patient goes on, we call it the new patient life cycle. Each week, we would cover a different aspect of new patient experience, from the first phone call to the first greeting, to the way we respond to emails and text messages, right down to drop-offs and reactivation phone calls. Everything gets looked at around about 90 days. So to make sure that I'm still there, even though I'm over there, 3,500 miles away, I decided to create a video vault. It shows hundreds of videos. We've got them inside a membership site. One or more of my senior staff explaining every single possible aspect of the business and how we expect it to work. They're the videos. They're all inside of our membership site that we have for the business. And it talks through how I want people to do an incoming call. So incoming call, hello, I'd like an appointment. All right, great. How do we get you on schedule? Initial consultation is obviously done by the physio. How do we get you all the way to hassle-free, compliant patient? That's success. Even down to engaging with clients in the clinic. How I want people to talk, no politics, no weather, things that they should talk about, what to do if a patient doesn't want to talk. Ultimately, it talks the staff through how I want them to act in my absence. And if ever we're slipping, guess what we do? We just go back to the videos. So I don't have to redo it. It's already done. Those videos, good enough is good enough, like they're done. My principles have not changed on customer service. So it means when I'm away or in other business, they're watching the trainings done by me, meaning stuff is getting done in the way that I want it. It also means we never have to train new members, or I don't have to train new members. And we never have any of the downtime associated with having to pull one of our key members out. This is where, again, you small businesses, new guys, new gals, as you start to recruit, this is where you're losing money. Because every time you recruit a new member, you're probably already busy anyway, but you've now got even worse or more busy because you have to pull somebody off the front line to train this person. Otherwise, you've got a dead weight. So think about it. It costs you money when you bring on people, and not just their salary. It costs you money because this person has to train them, or you do. And you're doing something, you should be making $500 an hour. And instead, a video should be doing it. A video should be doing it. And you're just checking in at the end. Reconfirm what did you learn from the video. So this is a huge time saver. And because we've created the learning objectives, we have all the worksheets to accompany the videos. We can monitor what is being learned. Does that make sense to everybody so far? Type into the chat. Let me know how I'm doing. I'm just going to have a quick drink. Tell me so far. If I was coaching you one-on-one, I might say something like this. Tell me what you've wrote down so far. Tell me what you've wrote down. What notes are you taking at this point? Tell me. While I have a quick drink, I'll keep an eye on the chat. What have you wrote down so far? Tell me. Keep going. Great. Thanks, Gregory. Never stop marketing. Wonderful, Joe. Well done. They really are. Number one thing I want to know, we call them gas calls, give a shit calls. Gas. Write that down. G-A-S. Gas. Give a shit calls. How many gas calls have we made today? That's all I want to know. If we get that right, we're gonna do all right. Screenshots of all the systems. Good, Chris. I cannot run everything by myself. Ajit, well done. Selling the experience, Gail, love that. The experience is what it's about. Absolutely. System points and key pointers noted. Systems stop inconsistency. Hello, Paul. Looking forward to seeing you next week. Weekly stats on number of phone calls to past patients. There you go. Love that. Love it, Kira. Well done. Welcome to a new way of thinking about growing a business. Everybody wants to tell you leads good. You need that at a certain point. But at some point, if you're a certain size, actually, it's about how do we just get more from what we've got? It's much easier. Wonderful. Joshua, great to see you. Training should be done every 2 weeks and significant. Yes, at least 2 or 3 hours. You can't train in 1 hour a week. By the time people get their jacket off, have a coffee and say hello to each other, you're in. It's like, you can't do that in 60 minutes. Document the trainings to automate. I'd say that's the big one. That's the one that took me like 2 years to do, is document the trainings. That's the thing. But that's give us the real leverage. Even now, to this day. In fact, I was at a conference last week and somebody said, I remember all those videos you used to put out. Like, can I have a couple? And he's a fitness business owner. He said, it was in a mastermind that I'm in here in the UK. He said, can I have a few? He said, I've started a fitness business. And I realized that like how you answer the phone and, how you greet the patient, it's all similar. I said, yeah, obviously. It's like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do the videos. He said, it takes too long. I've got them all from every step of the journey, but that's the thing that you've got to do. Automation of the patient experience and staff delivery, literally what I've been stressing over the last year. Brilliant, Baron. Education wins all day, every day, Chad. If that's the biggest takeaway, I've done my job today. The educated customers are the best. I swear, educated customers are the best. You also need less of them because they stay with you longer, which means you don't have to keep worrying about always marketing, always spending money. Educate the customers. I've said it for years. It's been my principal founding, one of the first guys who come along to teach it. Education of customers wins. Most people don't do it because it takes time. And yet, once you do educate the customers, they want to stay with you for longer. They're much easier to work with. Why do you think I write the books? Writing a book's painful. It's like, again, I'm in the middle of book number 6, 7 chapters into a new book called Extreme Achievement. That's my next book. It'll be out later in the year, early next year. Why do I do this? It's like my partner, Natalie, she's like, why are you writing another book? I'm like, I know, but there's more education. Like, there's something else to teach. And if I can educate more, I get better customers. If I get better customers, we get better business, Natalie. And if we get better business, guess what we get? We get a better life for you and I and the kids. Like, this is the way it works. Somebody has to do this shit at the beginning. Like, don't copy the life, copy what I do. Like, that's what I keep saying to everybody. Don't obsess over my life. Obsess over what I do to get the life. Because it's not something that just is given to me on a plate. Behind the scenes, there's shitloads of work going into the things that we do. And it's nearly always under the banner of systemizing to scale quick, to give me the freedom. But here's the thing, right? I'll write the book anywhere in the world. I'll make the calls anywhere in the world. Portugal, Florida. I'm off to Mexico in August for 2 weeks. Week 1, off completely with the kids. Week 2, 4 hours. I'll be doing a bit of book writing, checking in with a few people, a bit of strategic thinking, walking on the beach, listening to a few podcasts. That's part of my thing. Like, that's what I like to do. I don't just like to sit on a beach and drink cocktails and pina coladas. Great. Some people like that. I don't. I like a good week and relax, chill out with the kids, completely switched off. But then if it's week 2, good. I'll meet you halfway. I'll get up. I'll do 7 till 12 or 7 till 11. I want to read. I want to write. I'll listen to some podcasts, read some good books. By 12 o'clock, I'm done. I'll be with the kids. But that's what's right for me. That's what I want. And I know that. I'm 100% certain in what I need to get the best from myself and for the family. I'm certain of it. That's what I want for everybody. No conflict over your decisions. If you're going to make this, go make the decision. Don't fight with yourself over it for weeks and months after. What else have we got? Chad says, love it. Wonderful. Wonderful. All right. So let's get into it. Systematically tracking numbers. This is the cool bit, right? If you want to build a business that allows you to be free and travel and on and off flights and different countries or different towns, or you want a second place, or you just want to stay at home for a few weeks, you need to know the numbers. And more importantly than knowing the numbers, you have to have a system to track the whole thing. This is the game changer for you. Really, it all comes down to hiring and numbers if you want to be free. If you get the hiring system right and you get the numbers system right, I swear you can, the other stuff we're going to get. You need the welcome system, the discharge, all that, you're going to make some money. But really the 2 biggest principles, systematically tracking the numbers and an automatic system of hiring. Like if you get your hiring right and you get your numbers right, you've got a chance. So I need to know what's going on. I live 3,500 miles away from the business. Oftentimes I'm in countries, Australia or wherever it is with the kids. I need to know what's going on. So if I don't know, I run the risk of coming back to a ship headed in the wrong direction. And I've learned painful lessons on numbers. If I do know the numbers, I can make changes fast from a hotel, a beach, a conference hall, a seminar, or wherever I am in the world. So what do I want to know? Leads. My business is built using, like I said, value-added marketing, education-based marketing. Instead of prospecting, we acquire leads using marketing automation. We leverage what's called lead generation. Very different, very little known. Not many people do it, don't really understand it. Lead generation is the only way to market a small business. Unless you're at 50 million, you're a small business, right? It's lead generation all the way. I want to know 3 months out, how many leads are in my pipeline? So I'm not sweating on a patient not converting today because I've got leads in a pipeline. And if the business builds its pipeline, we've always got deal flow. We've always got people that we can call, or we've always got people who are ready to mature today. So I want to know from Vicky always what's going on. How many leads? So this is from our Infusionsoft account. How many leads have we got? It's nearly the end of June. How many have I got? I've got 95 people in my back pain funnel. I've got 45 leads from Facebook. I've got 107 people clicking leads. Look how many people in the last 30 days, 113 people with back pain in the last 13 days, 136 in the last 90. Lockdown has really eased the last, however many, 30, 45 days here in Britain, gone through the roof, the number of people who want to get in touch these days. And look, I can even see right down to my website, 35 people have come in off the website. Total whole customers to date so far with back pain this year, 603. New patients each day per clinic. I can get a taster for what's going on. Average number of visits per patient, per therapist. I want to be able to see that we're averaging at least 7.5 per physio. If one therapist is averaging 4 or 5, it's an indicator that something is going wrong, usually at the initial evaluation. What can I do about it? From the other side of the world, if I see that the therapist average visit per patient is down, anybody know the answer? If I've got my numbers lined up and I can see that Johnny is only doing an average of 4 visits per eval, what can I do about it? Anybody? Going once? Type into the chat. I'm going to train Gregory. I'm going to educate. But how am I going to train them? How am I going to train Sanket? Tell me. Mark, how am I going to do it? From the videos. We're all on the same page. Woo! Right. Do you see how all this is coming together? This is the game. This is the magic. You can't go sit on a beach and do nothing, right? Realistically, if you've got the business, you're going to have to do something. Unless you get to the real CEO exec, like real high level, you probably do want to still know the numbers. At this point, if we can build this into your business, you can walk away from it for a month or 2 months, 3 months. This is the game. And you can check in for an hour every Monday. Ask what's going on. Look at your stats. Great. Give them direction. Come back next week and do the same again. You will always have problems to solve in a business. So we make next Wednesday's training sessions all about improving prescription and evaluation techniques. Johnny, you need to watch them 3 videos. Go back over them, guys. This is what you got to do. We got to get you back into your top flight mode for converting patients to full plans of care. Because right now you're off track, and it happens. Even my best therapists have bad weeks. They just get sloppy. So I have them watch and rewatch and then role play the techniques I taught them years ago, the things I put on videos. I want to know the number of incoming calls versus number of patients. How many people know that? And be honest. How many people think you know it? And then how many people actually know it? I want to know how many inquiries came in that day versus how many actually booked. If the phone rang 14 times and only got 3 patients, I want to know why. The percentage should be 90% or higher. If not, we need to work on the incoming call technique. Where do we get that from? The videos, scripts. I can also track on my spreadsheet who handled the call. It's really important to know who handled the call and whether or not the patient booked out a few full plan of care. So I can find a correlation between who answered the phone and if that patient goes on to pay for or book a package of care. Nearly always comes down to the front desk guy or gal, is my experience. I want to know the number of upsells. All of my marketing cost gets paid for by the upsell, whether it's orthotics or massage or anything else we're selling. I want to be able to use all of that money to fuel the growth of the marketing cost so that my core product, physio, is where we make our money. So we have a target of 100 new cash paying patients per month. So my upsell target is 20%. We want 20% of those new patients into a massage or orthotics program. So if we're not hitting the targets, we go back and we train. So I can see how many people have bought orthotics month to date, so on and so forth. 15 people, yada, yada. So I can see all of the different physios, who sold what, how much, how many. It just gives me a real line of sight. Month to date, 15 orthotics to date, 7 in the last 7 days, who sold 7, who sold 4, who sold 2, and so on and so forth. Pretty cool, huh? So if the first visit no-shows are happening, then there's a problem on the front end phone call. So somebody books an appointment and then doesn't show for the evaluation. That's what we call a no-show. If it's happening after the first eval, then the problem with the first therapist. So you can start to figure out where in your chain, your kinetic chain, is the problem. We don't just always have a problem with leads. When we really look at the numbers, we can see that the problem actually is lead conversion, or it's a drop-off after the first session, or they're not arriving for the first session. And if they don't arrive for the first session, it's nearly always because we didn't do the welcome sequence. Somebody forgot to put them in the welcome sequence, so we didn't send the shock and awe box that we send them. Who enters all the data? One of the staff. If people are dropping off, then my secretaries are not handling the call very well. So with the data, we can always go back and we can train and we can do it better. So I only want to know the data that I can take action on. Every Monday, I get a 30-minute snapshot of the business. I want to know what money we made in that week and so on. But really, that's the effect. I am more interested in the cause. With that, I can impact the business from pretty much anywhere in the world and not just talk about it or shout about it. So new private patients, I think I took this yesterday or the day before. Private patients, 4 new patients month, 102. Total active patients ongoing right now, 386. Dormant past patients that we can talk to, 6,281 in this database. New physio inquiries from the website, 1. New physio inquiries from the website month to date, 50. And leads to paying patient conversions in the last 7 days, 21. So that's the number of people who came in off Facebook or Google or wherever as a lead, who took information, who are now spending money at my practice. This is the type of thing that is just, it's liberating for a business when you can hit your targets, but you really only are ever going to hit your targets if you have a good line of sight. So it's pretty much what's happening in my business right now. So it's all about tracking numbers, indicators, and so on. They give you a chance to impact the business in a positive way ahead of time. Number 7, marketing automation. So I showed you there some of the things that are happening from a numbers point of view. 21 leads, 7 conversions, yada, yada, what's going on. 96 people in a back pain funnel. How do we do all of that? Right. Well, we do all of that through something really simple. Once you set it up, marketing automation. It's a way of acquiring new patients and leads at your practice without you having to physically go out and do it. Traditional way, the rule, let's go back to the rules of the PT profession. We have to knock on somebody's door. We have to kiss a doctor's ass. We have to beg, steal, and borrow. We have to give out business cards. We have to lovey-dovey with the local fitness business. We have to do a presentation at the local yoga studio or YMCA. We have to kiss the council's ass or the fire brigade for a contract if you're in England. This is a typical thing. Nah, not anymore. Maybe it's in 1980 when Back to the Future was at the movies, but not in 2021 when Facebook and Google are around. So prospecting for doctors is manual labor because you have to keep on doing it, right? If you have to keep on doing it, like, it's hard work. That's how you get tired. Acquiring the names, email, and telephone numbers of new patients using Facebook or Google, that's automated. Right now, as I speak to you, we've got Facebook ads running that is collecting this information of people in my area with back pain. We've got Google ads running that puts me number 1, that leads them to pages that they can take information from me, and my team will follow up with them on Monday. But immediately, emails will go out to them. Vicky comes in on a Monday morning when they open that door to 10, 12, 14, 15, sometimes more inquiries from people over the weekend through our advertising. What a great way to start Monday. In fact, contrary to most clinics, we don't have a clinic on a Monday morning on purpose because we want all hands on deck on the phone. We want all of my staff, not in customer service, in the clinic. We want them all on the phone. Think about that. Think about what that means. We put all hands on deck on the phone, responding to inquiries on Monday morning. So 2 ways to do it. First, Facebook or Google. We love both. I'm going to show you through Facebook. And number 2, automate asking for referrals. So how to make this work? Pick your perfect patient. Pick the one that you want to work with. Facebook lets you find that specific person based upon their hobbies, interests, and location. You can find their age, their gender. I particularly like to target females. We go after females, age 55 to 65. We run ads to them. It works like gangbusters. We talk to them about their health. We put pictures up of people who look like them. And boom, people fill out forms. We get them on the phone and they come in working better than we've ever seen it. You run an ad into the news feed. It might look something like this. I'm going to show you an ad. That ad was up back. I'm very youthful in that image there. We first ran these ads back in around about 2014. I've been running Facebook ads for over 7-8 years. There's a lot of people who are teaching you how to do Facebook. And then there's somebody who actually spends his own money on Facebook and then like shows you how to do it, right? I've probably done 5 times as much as all of these guys of my own money in my own clinic on Facebook for 7-8 years. One of the very early ads that I ran back in the day when Facebook put ads, I was running ads on Facebook before Facebook was putting ads on mobile. I was running ads when Facebook was only desktop and it used to come up on the right-hand side. Remember these days? My ads used to appear on the right-hand side of Facebook before they figured out how to put ads in news feeds. This was one of my first ads in a news feed. I've been doing Facebook ads that long. I've been doing Google since 2009. Spent well over $250,000 of my own money, significantly more, in fact, pounds, so nearly $400,000, and well over 150,000 on Facebook as well. I've learned a lot of lessons, but it's beautiful if you can get marketing automation to work for you. So what we do, we don't ask them to book any appointments. We make a simple exchange. We exchange your expertise in the form of a free tips report. Remember, education wins. We get their contact details, including name and email and telephone number, and then we call them back. And this is what my team come into. So Monday morning, Vicky will come into a notification from our CRM Infusionsoft, and it'll say first name, Sue, email, telephone number. And Sue has kindly told us what concerns her most about her back pain. She wants to avoid, look at it, she wants to avoid depending upon painkillers to ease back pain. So when Vicky comes in on Monday morning, she picks up the phone, she calls Sue and she says, hey, Sue, tell me more about these painkillers and this back pain of yours. And Sue says, how did you know that? And we say, you told us. Marketing automation at its finest. We don't ring up and say, and here's the kicker. We don't ring up and say, do you want to book a physio appointment? That's too soon. We ring up and say, hey, tell us more about a life without painkillers and how we might be able to help easing back pain. That's what we talk about. So we follow up. We've got the scripts. We've got the emails. The team know exactly how to do it. It's all written up on their scripts. They've got the whole thing on their desk. We call it the sales playbook. Everything, whatever situation they're in, whether it's a drop-off, a lead, a new patient, they've got a sales playbook on their desk. They go straight to it and they can track that. They can work through it. Number 2 way of doing it. Is this helpful, by the way? Again, just give me a little nod. Am I doing a good job for you? Has it been worth giving up your Saturday afternoon? I hope so. Tell me, am I doing it? Thank you, Baron. Gregory, I like that. I like that response. You'll do for me. Me and you are kindred spirits. Good. Right. Here's how we automate referrals. I said a lot of us, we know that the best customers come from customers, but we don't always do it religiously. We don't always make a point of it. Most clinics also, I believe, make the mistake of waiting till the end to ask for treatment. But the best time to do it is within 72 hours of people booking an appointment. At this time, they are delighted that they've made a decision, and most likely they want someone else to feel as good as them or go through PT with them. So we offer information that they can give. So we use automation, email marketing automation, but we also have our referral packets that we give out to patients as well. And we do that immediately. Task notifiers go to the team. New patients arrived. When the patient arrives, please give this to your friends and family. And we automate that both in the clinic and through email. So the automation kicks in through the system to remind the team that Sally, the brand new patient, needs the referral kit. And we give them an envelope. It's got a letter in there from me. I should have brought one. Actually, it's downstairs. It's got a letter in there from me. It's even got right down to a card. This is true. We give them a card, right? A referral card, we call it. It's like an invitation card that you might get if you're going to, somebody invites you to a wedding. And it's got a picture of me in a character looking like Buzz Lightyear, right? You heard me correctly, Buzz Lightyear. So it's got me dressed up as Buzz Lightyear, and it says, quite simply, and Disney haven't come after me yet for copyright, it says, to the next level in your health and beyond, right? And it catches their eye. And it says, hey, here's how to refer a patient. And if you refer a patient, here's what I can do for you. And we give that to every single patient. And at the same time, a lot of emails go out to the patient that says, hey, you might have a friend with back pain or knee pain. I'm not asking you to tell them about me. I'm just telling or asking you to give them this information. And we send them a link to all of my free reports and books. And it allows the patient to send the email to their friend without us being involved. And the friend gets the books, the access to the back pain, the knee pain report, and so on. Fabulous way of increasing referrals. And if you think about it, a lot of patients tell you that they're going to refer, but the percentage doesn't always stack up. And I think it's very difficult for people to do that. It's very difficult for people to understand exactly what to do or what to say. It's also very risky for them to do it. And we don't want patients turned into salespeople. Plus, too many patients say things you don't want them to. In the chat, we like to wow and give a little. Rebecca has very kindly given you exactly what I was just talking about, just to prove to you that we do exactly what we the Paul Gough Physio Room is like a laboratory, right? It's a really cool laboratory these days. We figure out all this stuff first and we make the mistakes and we spend the money on it. And then we teach you how to do it, right? It's just a really cool principle. We don't just kind of read a few books like a lot of these guys do, right? They read the books or usually copy my stuff, right? And then reteach it. What we do is actually spend Paul's money on it, right? And Paul's time. And Paul hires all of these staff and actually puts his own money where his own mouth is, right? Before he comes. And it also is one of the reasons he has the balls to stand here with a bit of swagger and a bit of audacity to say, actually, this shit works. Because it's happening right now, like today. That card and that letter got put together about 3 months ago. It is live right now in my clinic and in the business of many of the clients. So you can have that on us for a gift for showing up live. We do appreciate you, and we'll always give you a little bit more than we ask in return. So take a look at it. You can use it. Don't rip it exactly. Put your style on it. It might not work for you. Some of you might not look as good as me in a Buzz Lightyear outfit, but you can try. Maybe you go for Mickey or Minnie. Potentially, or Tinkerbell, if you're that way inclined, then do it. Have some fun, like we said at the start. The patients will love you for it. So they get this anyway. Put that one in the chat as well. paulgoughphysio.com/friends. That's a link that goes to a patient when they booked an appointment, and ultimately is exactly how we ask them for referrals. All automated. Push of a button, patient arrives, bang. This is what happens next to the patient. And gets his referrals. They come in, starts the journey with us. Off we go again. They go in the nurture system, and they get the follow-up emails and everything that we're talking about. New leads become patients, and on and on and on this journey goes. And ultimately, is one of the ways that we hit our targets of 100 new patients each month. Explosive, very automated, very systemized way of growing a business on autopilot. Got something very cool as well to share with you in just a moment while you have a look at that. Here's a little reminder of why I decided to systemize. Everything good about the business was on me. Everything bad about the business was also on me. All of the pressure was on me. Patients wanted to see me and only me. And staff constantly wanted to speak to me. Basically, it was all on me, and that wasn't a place I wanted to stay. Remember, this entire thing, everything that I'm about, is not just teaching you how to make money. I think there's lots of people out there, and I think they do a very good job of teaching you how to make money from business. Where I think this is different, I'm going to teach you how to make money without you having to be there every day. I'm going to teach you how to make money without this entire thing relying 100% on you. And if that resonates with you at all, I'll say it again. I'll teach you and give you everything that I've got that shows you how to make money without the business relying upon you. If you want to go to work, you can go to work. If you want to treat patients, you can treat patients. If you want to grow to 4 locations, you can do that. If you want to step back, you can do that. If you want to go to Europe for 3 months, COVID permitting, borders, governments permitting for another few more months, possibly, you can do it. I'm not just going to teach you how to make money that shackles you to the business. This is about income and freedom. And if that resonates with you at all, you'll love what I've got for you in the next 5 minutes. So please allow me to show you exactly what I've got for you if that resonates with you at all. So let's talk about you. You know right now that we need to leverage systems and automation to grow the business. You know, growth by automated systems, it works for other PTs. PT school definitely didn't teach you any of this stuff. And I suspect you don't have time, nor would you want to do all of this on your own. So we created this. It's called Physical Therapy Business Growth School. It was the blueprint, the flagship program of mine. It was the one that launched everything for me. Hundreds of businesses have gone through this. I showed them everything. We started this back in 2016 and we've updated it every year. You can see even the things we put in the chat there. We're constantly updating systems. We're adding things to our systems. We're updating our referral processes, emails, our marketing, our scripts. I've since hired a senior sales director for my group of companies who came in and improved all of the things that we do in the physio business and created a sales playbook recently. Everything that we do, I've got a finance director since that time that's improved our numbers and our reporting strategies. We are obsessed with growing in a way that is efficient and profitable, and crucially, does not require PG's name to be on anything for it to get done. It's about systemizing and autopiloting everything so that the business grows without you. It's 7 weeks of implementation and business coaching with me and my team to transform your business from daily grind to a systemized, fully automated, and predictably more profitable asset that is a pleasure to own and run. It's got 3 main focuses. Number 1, create the automated systems in your clinic that will let you grow and scale more quickly, streamlining operations so that you can spend more time with patients and family, and ultimately letting you grow your PT clinic without everything being on you. Amen to that. This is for you. If you want to make the same money and yet spend more time with your family, grow and scale your practice successfully without even having to be there, have your name above the door, but have others do the work for you, streamline operations so that you can spend more time with your patients, meaning you'll get better results than your competitors. You want to open in more locations with ease. You want to get your business into a position that if you wanted to, you could sell it for a nice 7-figure sum. Already highly successful, but you want to take things to the next level. Your business is struggling, maybe coming through COVID, and you want a fast turnaround. You want automated systems in your business to do most of the hard work of growing the business for you. It's for cash, out of network, private, in network, and hybrid. We've helped every business model. It's basically, if you want to do things differently and you are 100% committed to being more successful and you like the idea of autonomy from your business, you are fed up of the rules, you are fed up of looking at everybody around you who is stressed, miserable, and bored and taking life far too seriously, wearing that badge of honor that says, I work hard in my business and I'll get there someday. I have a good idea. Let's all get in the someday club, right? That's a good club to be in. Not, said nobody, right? If you don't want to be in that someday club, this is 1,000,000,000% for you. So the price, I think you'll be surprised at how cheap this is. You're going to get access to the complete automated system that has helped me to grow from solo clinic owner to 4 clinics with 18 staff. I've now got about 40 staff all over the world, and we're all using these systems in 3 different businesses. From working all day, every day as a PT to living in a different country, something that cost me hundreds of thousands to figure out. You're getting the exact blueprint that has already helped many of my private clients to have similar results in their business. My day rate is now $7,500 US per day if you want to hire me as a consultant. And I do 1 day a month. That's it. If you want to hire me, you can have me, but you might have to wait, or you can do this program with me. Do not be put off by how cheap this course is. Do not be put off by the $5,000 price tag and how cheap that is. We will over deliver. We will give you everything that you need to scale well past where you are with ease. So please do not be put off by the low price point. we can value it at $5,000 because any one of these 7 modules could and previously has been sold off separately for up to $1,000 each. But here's what I'm going to do. I think you're absolutely amazing. And I stare at you as I look through the camera. I think you're absolutely amazing. I said privately to the team before we come on, there is any number of reasons that somebody might not join today. And a lesser business owner looked at this webinar and thought, you know, it's Saturday. I'm going to paint the fence. I'm going to cut the grass. I'm going to watch some baseball, or I'm going to watch the Euros on the telly in Europe. I'm just going to goof off. I'm going to go to the pub, or I'm going to watch some Netflix. They had the choice to be here with me today, and you guys chose to do this. I think that's amazing. You guys chose to do ultimately what I love to do, to be educated. And I think we're going to have a beautiful relationship. Here we go. If you can hang around with me for 2 hours today, we're going to get on just fine. Each module is around about 2 hours. Remember I said before, I don't put 7-minute podcasts out. I don't do things small. I don't write 60-page books. I write 300-page books, right? I want good customers. I want good customers because I can get results from good customers. And if you're still with me 2 hours in, I would absolutely love to work with you for the next couple of months. So here's what we're going to do for today. If you enroll in the class with me in the next 5 minutes, you can make 4 easy payments of just $897. So we'll save $1,500. You can put that towards a vacation, or something in the clinic, or marketing budget, or Infusionsoft, or something that you might want to get further down the line, and save another even $200 if you take the 1 payment option. So the price, 4 payments of $897, or just 1 payment of $3,400. Best of all, no risk, zero, nada, zip. 2 weeks to try the program. And if by the end of module 2, you think, you know what, Paul, this is not for me, I'll give you your money back in full. We do not ask any questions. You just send an email and say, Paul, I made a mistake. This is not for me. I'm out. Refund applied in full, no problems at all. So the next and only time that we are doing it in 2021, and I always get this question, Paul, when will you be doing this again? We haven't done this for 2 years. We have not done this program for 2 years. We're bringing it out now because we basically got a roar of people telling us that through COVID, they had an epitome that their businesses are either A, a mess, and they've done some soul searching, or B, what I love the sound of, people have realized actually what the purpose of their business is for, and it's not to be there for 12 hours a day. It's to actually to travel. It's amazing what happens when you have things taken away from you. This is what genuinely we think has happened. The number of businesses who've asked us for this type of training in the last 3 to 6 months is stunning. We've waited till now to do it, to fit it into our calendar. We will not be doing it again this year. The businesses that have said to us over the last 3 to 6 months, since I've had travel taken away from me and I can't do all these things and I couldn't do this thing and it made me realize how much I need to sort this business out so I can do it. If you're in that crowd, come and join us. We won't be doing it again this year. We're starting live, which means it happens every week like this for 2 hours. This was a test pilot, if you like. We're looking for the people that can hang around with us for 2 hours and have that ability to do so, because candidly, not everybody does. Apparently there's people out there these days that put 1-minute podcasts out there and like thousands, millions of people like download the thing. You know, that's kind of where society's headed. But another story for another day. Thursday, the 8th of July at 12 o'clock, we'll kick off. Me and my team are involved in this. You're going to get access to my team. This is what's really cool about this one. Me and my team, some of them have been with me for 3, 4, 5 years. They know the ins and outs of how these businesses run in these systems. All calls are recorded. So you do not have to attend live. Do not be put off if you miss 1 or 2 of the live sessions. Everything's recorded. It comes out to you in an email 24 hours later, and everything's inside of a membership site. We're working with just 40 clinics. We've reduced that. We used to do 50. We're taking 40 because we're going to give you a lot more one-on-one attention. And we're running into a few issues these days of clinics next door to each other having the same systems in play. So we better hope your competitor isn't on this thing, right? But we're going to reduce this to 40 to solve both of those problems. 21 of the seats have been taken. We have a 150 plus member marketing academy that we launched back in May. We've had some wonderful conversations and many of those people have been asking for this. So 21 of those seats have already been taken. So we've got just 19 spaces. Kind of how it looks. Everybody comes on. We get to know each other. There's people on there from America, from Canada, from Britain. There'll be people on there from all over the world, from Europe, Ireland, Australia, most definitely. And there's just 19 spots. So the modules, number one, this is brand new. This used to be a 6-module program. And I think because of the COVID thing, and because a lot of people have asked for this, and I wrote about this in my leadership book, for the very first time, I'm going to teach you how to do a strategic growth plan. Very different from a budget and very different from a business plan. If you've read my leadership book, I think it's chapter 8, I talk about the importance of a strategic growth plan. And I'm going to teach you this. Never done it before. First time ever. I'm going to walk you through how to do a strategic growth plan on module 1. Thursday, July the 8th, 12 o'clock Eastern. All sessions are 12 o'clock Eastern. Module 2 is Discover Your Clinic's USP. Remember, we spoke about that earlier, how to scale the mission, create a brand that's trustworthy, and get all of your team on board. We'll show you how to do that Tuesday, July the 13th at 12 o'clock. Week 3, possibly, if not, maybe, definitely, the most important of all things that any business owner who wants to grow profitably needs to know: essential financial principles. 5 years ago, I was a self-professed financial dummy. These days, I fight with my accountant, I fight with my bookkeeper, I fight with my finance director, I fight with anybody who touches anything to do with my finance, because I know exactly what I fucking want and what it needs to look like. That's the power. If you understand finance and you get it right in your business, everything else is much easier to do. So I'll teach you in that module 2 or 3 of the things that you're going to have if you want to be able to scale. Number 4, this is back to those training videos, automating a culture of excellence in clinical service, Tuesday, July 27. Module 5, marketing automation. We'll go through things that you can do, 10 different things, not just Facebook and Google, but 10 different things that you can do to market and automate those things in your business. Module 6, we call it automating the new patient journey experience. We go through everything from the arrival to the greeting, to the evaluation, to the drop-off, to the discharge process, to the keep in touch process, all the scripts, the whole thing. So much that it's actually in 2 parts. So we're going to do that over a 2 session program, August the 10th and August the 17th for that. So what's this strategic growth plan all about? Map out what's possible for your business and show you how to at least double your profits in the next 12 months. So I'll talk to you in that strategic growth plan, key numbers to track and how to track them, how your current business stacks up against other business models that I'm aware of. We'll talk through that with you, how to reinvent your business model to ensure it's suitable and profitable as you scale, how to think about and plan for growth in the next 12 months, how to think about and plan for growth in the next 5 years. No more than 5 years. That's all we got to do. We're going to look at 5 years out and work back and go, okay, is this what you want? Is this what Gregory wants from his business? Is this definitely what Chad wants? Is it definitely what Baron wants? Chris wants? Whoever else I can see in here, Kira, Sanket, Mark, Ajit. Is this what you guys definitely want for your business and for your lifestyle over the next 5 years? If it is, let's work back and map that out. And I'll do that with you in module 1. Something called your strategic intent. You must know it and how to use that to guide your growth. The key numbers, what we'll cover in module 3. We'll do the top line, top level stuff, and then we'll dig into the granular stuff in module 3. And recruitment. For strategic growth, we've got to cover recruitment. Here's the thing. Who you need if you're planning on being in the business, write this down. Who you need if you're planning on being in the business is very different if you're planning on being able to leave the business, even if it's for a few weeks. Most people have staff in their business who are emotionally connected to you. They have what my mentor calls an umbilical cord, right? An umbilical cord, and they're looking for you to plug into. And if you're not there, they're kind of wandering around, trying to, like, humor me. They are literally wandering around looking for somebody to plug this thing into. And the minute you come back, they plug you in and all of your oxygen gets drained and it goes back to them. Can you relate? Because that's what's keeping most business owners stuck. They're hiring the wrong type of person. In the strategic growth plan, I'll talk to you about the difference between the people that you need if you want to be able to break free from somebody constantly plugging in. World apart. Module 2, how to define what makes you different, how to ensure that your staff correctly communicate. 10 ways to get all of your staff on board. Who's struggling occasionally? Every now and again, you have a good idea and your staff don't seem to think it's a good idea as you. All right, that's not cool when you're trying to grow a business and your ass is on the line. I'll show you how to get your staff on board. How to track the financials that matter. I love this. how to tell if your bookkeeper is a good one or needs firing. Who has anybody on here ever been happy with their bookkeeper? I wonder, right? It's the perennial pain in the ass for a business owner finding a good bookkeeper. Yes or no? Can you agree? You know what the real problem is? You wouldn't know a good bookkeeper if you knew one anyway, if it was in front of you. The issue is we don't know what to ask. So we keep changing the bookkeeper, but we're not changing the questions. The bookkeeper is only good if we know what we want them to do. So I'll teach you that in module 3. I'll tell you which key performance indicators to track and report on and what systems to use, and how to get what I call financially literate. See, accounting is clerical, right? Accounting is clerical, but finance, that's a completely different language. That's intellectual. It's a completely different thing. And please understand that. Accounting is just stacking up numbers, right? Your accountant at the end of the year, it's just clerical. He just puts a load of numbers into a computer and spits the thing out, and you pay the tax, right? Or ask for a refund if you're negative. But when you get into finance, it's more intellectual, and it's chess, not checkers. You're starting to understand how the numbers that you're looking at represent, this is the key words. When you crack finance, you can look at numbers and you can unravel those numbers to know what activity, what people did or didn't do in your business to cause those numbers. And that's, I believe, what you want. When you've got this constant frustration over the finance and the bookkeeper, it's because we don't know, nobody's ever educated us on what the numbers mean in terms of the activity that caused it. That's what financially literate is all about. You'll be able to fight with your bookkeeper and your accountant for better information from them by the end of module 3. I can promise you that. You'll get given spreadsheets I use. We have this thing we call Cockpit, which is ultimately all the dials in my business that I can turn up or turn down to allow the plane to keep building. We'll give you the pre-built templates and talk to you about technology and software that we use. Automating culture of excellence, Google and Facebook to find new staff for your company, how to create an automated onboarding process for your team, all of the videos, how to retrain staff, hiring strategies. How many people are struggling right now getting good staff? You can't even get to show up for an interview, right? It doesn't help the fact that the governments are underwriting every bloody sod's living till September. You cannot even get people to show up for interviews, right? We'll show you how to get over that. Automate the whole problem. So if the time wasters don't show up, that's fine. You didn't waste any of your time anyway. So we'll talk to you about hiring strategies relevant for 2021 and the situation. I'm hiring in Britain and I'm hiring in the United States. My system works in both countries. And I'm employing in 3 different industries. And the system I use, universal. I'll teach you how to do it. Marketing automation, it means you spend less time chasing dead-end leads on relationships with doctors, more time picking up new patients. And Facebook advertising, it's absolutely the gold rush right now, that and Google, and we'll show you how to turn it into your #1 source. We'll do this thing called 10x referrals from past patients, how to do it, and of course, how to automate the whole thing, and the special new patient getting promotions, how to autopilot one for every single month. Email marketing, we're into email marketing 5.0. I'm doubling down on email. Everybody tells you email's dead, ridiculous. I spent yesterday and the day before with the marketer of my physio business walking through some really cool new strategies that we're using for email marketing. I'll put you on my physio business's email list and you'll be able to watch it. Watch what I do. Don't always just listen to me. Watch what I do. I'll teach you everything that I'm doing for email marketing in the business. But we'll also give you, you'll get videos, you'll get the trainings, like all the videos that you want for your scripts and everything. You're going to get the whole lot. I'll also give you Facebook ads. I'll give you landing pages, give you pretty much everything. Automating the new patient experience, how to create the new patient journey experience, value-added welcome systems to get every patient happy. I'll give you what we call the summary bridge and pull email that we use to stand out from our competitors and stop drop-offs. Pre-program your business to become a finely tuned machine so that you can constantly over-deliver. We'll automate pretty much everything. You'll get the scripts. You will get given things. This is not just education. You'll get given scripts and videos and tutorials, pre-written examples of all the materials and emails that we use, scripts and sales playbooks, profitable emails I'm sending out, tutorials, videos, everything that I've got that I've spoken to you about. And then we'll do part 2. We'll go into the treatment room and talk through prescriptions of care, how to talk to patients, how to follow the scripts to get people to pay cash or out of pocket, how to stop drop-offs, how to get people back on schedule, how to get reviews. We'll talk to you about how we automate all of that. Pretty much everything that you need to systemize and automate your business. Sound good? Who's interested? Type into the chat. PT Business Growth School is essentially about giving you everything you need so that the business does not depend upon you. And it gets better. You're going to be able to make your investment back. Before we start, I'm going to give you Profiting from Social Media 2021. I'm going to give you exactly how we do it at the Paul Gough Physio Rooms. Like I said, my business is a laboratory. We do all this stuff first. We figure it out. We stick it all on programs and videos and blah, 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 and then we give it to you once we know it works. You're going to be able to get that from us, and you're going to be able to start using that tonight as soon as you join us. Free bonus number 2, you'll get 2 months in my mastermind program. We've got a pretty big event coming up, and what we might do is throw in 2 free tickets virtually or in person for you to join my next Disney-themed mastermind, customer lifetime value theme event on July 10th and 11th. You can get some passes for that for free as well. I'll give you 2 free tickets to the next event, or you can use them in November, my one after, in Orlando, or in the United Kingdom if you want to come to my event in the UK in July. We'll give you 2 months access to the program in Mastermind as well. It's currently $1,100 a month. You can have it. 150 people are in that program. It is insane, the quality of the business owners in that program. So you'll get access to that, and you'll join the group. You'll get 2 free tickets. And at the end, we'll give you a graduation bonus for doing everything that you are asked. It's called New Patients from Community Events. Basically, the world's starting to open back up. People are outdoors. They're doing events again. They're getting to community farmers markets, all that type of stuff. You can get a very good, profitable source of patients from those things. And I'll show you how to do small group talks as well. So here's what you're getting. You're getting the 7 modules. We'll do it over 6 weeks. Profiting from social media, new patients from community events, 2 free tickets, and 2 months at the mastermind program. And I'm also going to give you this. This is all about systemizing and automating. And I'm going to give you something to help with your marketing as well. New patient overload. Attract more new patients, 9-module program, how to do education-based marketing, very simple program that you can plug in, postcards, referral leaflets, flyers, newspaper ads, all of the stuff, old school type marketing that still works like gangbusters today if you educate people the right way. It's called New Patient Overload. One of the early programs that I did, sold for $2,000. Get the videos and ad templates. I'm going to give you that. All I ask is you enroll in the next 48 hours. So for the next 48 hours, you can have that. And if you enroll by Monday this time, just hit reply and we'll give you that program. We'll literally press a button. It'll open up inside your email for you. So here's what you got to do if you want to join us. Something really fun. And this is where this goes crazy. So if you're interested, who's interested? Just type into the chat and let me know while I have a quick drink. Who wants to see a little bit more about what we're going to give you? So if you're interested, you're sitting on the fence and you think, I'm kind of there, Paul, and this sounds really cool, and this is definitely what I need to put this to bed tonight so that we can just get on with the class list and get this started next Thursday. If you enroll while I'm still on the webinar, we'll also set up your first Facebook or Google ads for you, which is a $1,500 value. So if you enroll in the next 2 or 3 minutes, you can get us, my team. We have an agency with nearly 100 clinics that we do Google and Facebook ads for, a team of 12, 13 people. We'll set either your Facebook ads up for you to get your email marketing, your marketing automation going, or we'll do your Google ads, whichever you want. Plus, we'll give you 25 pre-written emails. We'll give you 25 pre-written blogs, and we'll give you my 3-day annual planning document. For those of you really serious about business growth, there's nothing better than getting your team together at the end of the year for 3 days. I'll give you that. We never sell that. In fact, it was a program I did last year, but I'll give you the document. I'll give you the walkthrough document if you like. All I ask, if you're interested and you want to do this, do it now. To get those extra bonuses, you must do it while I'm still on this webinar, and I'll be off in about 3 or 4 minutes. I'm going to put the link into the chat. So please have your, your intent to buy ready. We're going to get going with it. You must enroll while I'm on the webinar. And here's what I'm going to do. Now, who's interested at this point? Now who's interested? Who's still interested? And now who's interested? Come on, type into the chat. Type into the chat. fearful of still being able to make it work for me. Would love to understand what that means, Chris. I'm not quite sure, but I think I get it. If you're interested and you're on the fence and you're thinking, Paul, I've loved this and I absolutely do want to do this and I cannot wait to get going with you, I'm going to make it really easy for you to say yes right now. If you do it right now and enroll in the next 5 minutes, I will drop the final payment and you can save an additional $550. $550 will come off the program if you enroll while I'm still on the webinar, which means it's 3 payments of $997 instead of 4 payments of $895, or 1 payment of $2,850 instead of $3,400. You've got that plus the Google ads, all the Facebook ads, and all those other bonuses for round about the next 5 minutes. I have 3 beautiful boys that need a story reading, and there's a good game of football on tonight that I've got to get home for. So I'm going to go in the next couple of minutes. If you want to get them, head over to ptprofitacademy.com/BGS. We'll put the link into the chat for you, and we're going to get going on July the 8th. Like I said, you can get the bonuses. You can join us right now. You're going to get the best deal. You're covered by the money back guarantee. If you've got questions, enroll and we'll answer them for you on Monday. If you're on the fence, enroll. Give it 2 sessions. You can enroll today, but you don't have to decide today. I think that's the big thing. You can enroll, I'll say that again, but you do not have to decide. You've got 2 weeks to decide if this is right for you. I can't think of anybody on here or anybody that 2 hours in, nearly 500 of you who are still with me, who would not benefit from it. If you have an RA business owner and you want to be able to step back from the day-to-day running of the business, you want to be able to make money without you being there every day, this is it. If nothing changes, nothing changes. Do not be in that category of someday and that crowd of PTs who are someday telling themselves that they will be successful. Put this into context. Enroll right now, Chris. It's right there. ptprofitacademy.com/BGS. You can enroll right now. Here's what I'm going to say to you. Let's put this into context. This is the price of about 1.5 patients for most of you. Let me just say this again for anybody sitting on the fence. This is the price of 1.5 patients that you ordinarily will lose. If you really genuinely think after all of this that we can't get you 1.5 patients that you would have lost because of not having these systems, then I don't know what else to say to you. Think about what that means. 1.5 patients, 1.5 patients. If a patient is spending $1,500 to $1,800 with you, which they should be, Gregory, absolutely not. We've got massage therapists, we've got OTs, we've had medical doctors on this program, we've had chiropractors on this program. We would love to have you. Exactly. We've had fitness business owners go through this program. This is absolutely for you. I'm going to say this again. $2,850. We think, oh, that's a lot of money to put on my credit card today. I would suspect that most of you are losing $5,000 to $10,000 every month because you haven't got things like this in your business. PT and chiro clinics, absolutely. PT, chiro, we've had MD, we've got a lot of chiros in my community, a lot of forward-thinking chiros, fed up of the old kind of fashioned way of doing their thing, looking for a new way to automate, to scale. A lot of chiros think that they have to do all the work. Absolutely. Medical doctor, if you're on here as a medical doctor, we'd love to have you. Private practice owner. If you're a private practice owner, you're in. Acupuncture, massage therapist, medical spa, we'll have you. I'm going to say this again. $2,850, I appreciate you think, oh, I don't know if I've got that. Or you might be thinking, I don't know if I want to give that up today, right now. But I know that this month you will have lost more than $2,850 because you don't have a referral system automated. You don't have a way of keeping in touch with your patients automated. You don't have a new patient journey. You don't have the scripts. You don't have a way of handling drop-offs professionally, ethically, reliably. You don't have a way of communicating. 1.5 patients. This is all it is to you. If you can hear the sound of my voice and you can hear 1.5 patients, we're going to work together for 7 weeks. I know I can get you 1.5 patients back. That's for sure. Now, if this is you don't trust yourself, that's a different thing. But please don't doubt me or this program, because it is not for debate, not for debate. And I'm going to stand behind it, hence the guarantee, not for debate that this program will get you 1.5 patients back. You might have a lack of confidence in yourself, and that's totally up to you. One of the reasons that we only take 40 clinics on is because we give you one-on-one coaching through it to make sure that you do this. So if you're thinking $2,850 is a lot of money, I'd get you to think about the money that you're losing every week by not having this in play. Gregory, there isn't that much sales training, but in terms of what you and I are going to do, but the scripts are in there for you and your team for sales. So we've got sales playbooks, we've got scripts for front desk, we've got scripts for incoming calls, we've got scripts for outgoing calls, we've got scripts for drop-offs, we've got scripts for upsells, we've got training videos for upsells, we've got scripts for pretty much the 6 points in your business where ultimately you need to script. We've got every single one of them in a playbook that we'll give you. Anybody that wants sales training, we'll figure that out for you. If you enroll in the program right now and just tell us that you want a little bit of sales training for your company, I'll add some extra videos that we've done with clinics over the last few years, specifically for front desk sales training. I'll figure that out for you, and I'll get you extra stuff that you can use for sales training if that's what you want. I'm going to say it again, $2,850. It's a sticker shock. I get it. Credit card. Oh, I'm not quite sure. However, tomorrow, if a patient drops off, you've lost $1,500. If a patient doesn't refer, you've lost $1,500. If you are still running around town trying to get referrals off doctors, that's costing you more than $1,500 in your time. If you do not know how to reactivate past patients, that's costing you more than $1,500. If the average patient isn't $1,500, you've got a problem that we can fix, and that's why you should do this course. The new patient journey is designed to give enough value so that people want to pay $1,500 to $2,000. The average price that my clients would charge now would be well over $2,500 for a plan of care, which really is close to one patient that it will cost you to do this program. So I'm going to get you to think about that $2,850 or 3 payments of $997. How much are you losing tomorrow when you don't know how to answer that phone? Or privately, you admit that you might not be that good at sales training and helping your team to answer the phone. And we've got all of that. And how much are you losing because of the financial illiteracy? Right? Let's talk about that. That if you don't know where that money's going and you don't know why it's not coming in, and you don't know what we call them levers to pull to increase that revenue, how about $2,850 against financial literacy? What price? The ability to talk to your bookkeeper and get what you want. What price? The ability to talk to your accountant and ask where all the fucking money's gone. What price to talk to your team about why cash flow is not happening as positive as you would like it. Gregory, I promise you, I will solve that for you. Leave that with me. Give me a few days. Email in send a little email and I'll sort that for you early next week, as I will everyone. Anything that I can help you with, I will. I'll get it for you. We want you to be successful. Hiring, we'll show you how to automate hiring. How much time are you wasting in chasing time wasters and having people not showing up? We'll show you how to automate hiring. Perfect for 2021. We'll show you financial literacy. At last, there is a business coach out there who can teach finance, and it's not just marketing, or hustle, or inspiration. I will teach you financial principles and give you spreadsheets. I'll take it back to $2,850 on the credit card. Looks like a lot of money. I appreciate it, doesn't I? Respect it. But I know what costs you more when a patient doesn't show up. And when a patient drops off, or a patient doesn't refer, or you're not using Facebook and Google to get automated leads, my team can set your Facebook ads up for you if you enroll right now, and we can get you 10 or 15 leads, right? You only need to convert 3 or 4 of them, and you're close to 10 G's as a result of that. If you believe in yourself, I know we can do this. But please don't say that this doesn't work or can't work or is different for you. This has worked in most of the Western countries in the world for new startups, for established businesses, for insurance businesses. James, lovely, well done. It's great to see so many of you joining us. I really can't think of an excuse for why somebody would not do this. If you're a new startup, let's do this right. Why wait till you run into problems? Because we can get you the 2850 back. If you're an experienced business owner and things are not working as well, we can fix it. And if things are working well, great. We can make them work well faster. If you want to make money and you do not want to be shackled to that business, which I can't work out why anybody would want to be shackled to their business, I cannot understand why somebody would not want to automate and systemize their business. 2850, 1.5 patients. Is that really the reason that you're not going to enroll today, that we can't get you 1.5 patients? Chris has 2 clinics and wants 5 or 6. Love that. We're in the game, Chris. We're in the game. 200 plus people have done this program. Is easily my most impactful. Marketing's hard, right? When we do Accelerator, marketing's hard. Systems and automation, as long as you put the time in, you'll put these systems in your business. There's nothing mystical about automation and systems. We've figured all of that out. Now, marketing, that's a little difficult. Like that is, I'll admit, marketing's that's like a superpower that you got to have. It's like, oh shit, I've got to do marketing. But systems, in all honesty, it's a little bit boring, right? Putting these things in is going to be a bit boring for some of you, right? But there's a great phrase that I love, and I've actually done a few podcasts on. Write this down. Getting rich is boring. Getting rich is boring. So 2850 or 3 payments in 997. If you've got a cash flow problem, you're a new business, choose the 997 and we can get that back for you. We know we can get that back for you, and some 10, 100, 20, 300 times over the course of the next 4 or 5 years. Some of the case studies, if you're interested, look at people like Carrie and Trevor and Jason Hahn. These guys have gone on to do amazing things, who did this program when we first did it a few years back. Carrie is just a superstar. I'm sure many of you are aware of Carrie Jose. She joined me. She called me and said, hey, Paul, look, I'm a solo practitioner. I remember it well. She was in a small little room. And she said, I want to get out of treatment. I'm seeing these patients and I want to get out of treatment. Fast forward 4 years, she's got about 9 staff. And she just last week put pen to paper on a building that is 5 times the size of the one she was in previously, that she now owns, with her own Pilates studio, 2 treatment rooms, 2 full-time physios, Pilates, yoga instructors, all sorts of stuff going on. She is insane. Insane. Russell, I think I've just given you the example of the person that you might want to aspire to be like. She charges $350 when she was adamant that nobody in Little Portsmouth would pay that. She scaled this business. I could go on and on and on and on. So Russell, don't really think about where you are now. I would encourage you to think about where do you want to get to as a result of doing all of this. Surely this is about getting somewhere, growth, growing the business, building a team so that that generates revenue for you wherever you are, whatever the size of the premises. So I just would encourage you to think about that. It's not about the size you are now. It's about where you want to get to. Here's what separates my clients from everybody else. Write this down. One word: ambition. Right? Ambition. Some people speak ambition. In fact, 99.9% of people on social media speak ambition. Very few do ambition. I know what separates my clients from everybody else is ambition. And they want to do ambition. Everything I do, right? I've put you through the gauntlet today, 2.5 hours. You're still here listening to me. Most people wouldn't do this for 45 minutes because they'd be fearful of losing you. Who writes a book every year in this profession, right? Who do you know? Which business coach writes a book every year? I don't need to write books anymore. I'm financially, I'm all right. I'm done. I'm good. I do it because I absolutely love what I do. And I want to work with the best customers. And the reason that I have a smile on my face, whether I'm running a physio business, I'm running the coaching company, I'm running my real estate business, I work with the best customers. And I work with the best customers because predominantly they are ambition orientated. They are success driven. My events rock. They sell out every time because people like being around successful people. Russell, choose wisely. If you want to hang around with us, come on in. Come and do some ambition. Don't speak it, guys. Let's come and do some of it. $28.50. It's 1.5 patients in reality. That's all this thing's going to cost you. Take a chance on us. You don't have to decide today. You need to enroll today, but you can decide within the next 2 weeks, or in fact longer. It's 3.5 weeks. You know what? If you come on in and you don't like my staff, you don't like my clients, you want to unenroll, you'll get a chance to join some mastermind calls, and you'll be in the Facebook group, and you'll get a chance even by the 2-week mark. I bet, in fact, you'll have had a chance to join the event in July in Orlando. Come on in and sample my world. I'll challenge you. That's how confident I am. If you come into my world, if you do ambition and you like being around successful people, you consider yourself to be a successful person, both in business and in life, I challenge you to enroll and come on into my world and hang out with my team and my clients for a few weeks, and then make a decision on us. Not today, just enroll today, but make the decision in 2 or 3 weeks. I bet you we've got your $28.50 back by module 2. That's how confident I am. We'll give you the 2 free tickets to the event in July the 10th and 11th. If you want to come to Orlando, come and hang around with me. I'm flying back next week. I'd love to see you in person. We'll have a beer together at the bar. Maybe have a little swim in the pool on a morning before the event. Maybe go to Disney on a night. We'll go and see Mickey and Minnie. It's been a while since I've been. Or if you're not ready for flying yet, just join in with us virtually. There'll be 150 online, and there'll be 70 to 75 in person. Come and see what my group's like. If you're hanging around, I bet you'll love it. You will love it. And they will love helping you. If you do ambition and you like success, you consider yourself to be successful, this is the group to be in. $28.50 should be 1 patient. Reality, it might be 1.5 for you right now, but it should be 1 patient. We can get you there. We can get you there. I know that. Brian, make sure you come down to from Atlanta. Actually, I'm flying into Atlanta and then down to Orlando. So come on down. Drive down, fly down. Carroll, Tennessee's not far. I know you can get down to Orlando, 10, 11 hour drive, maybe, little flight down. I love Tennessee, the Rocky Mountains, Smoky Mountains, sorry, in Nashville, Franklin. I'm over there quite regularly. So come on in, let's join us. Come on, PG Profit Academy, I'm going to go. You've got 2 or 3 minutes. My team are there to help you as well. Email if you've got questions, or type into the chat right now. Come on, type into the chat if you have a question. If you think, you know what, Paul, you haven't answered a question yet that I need you to answer before I can make a decision. That's why I'm here. I'd love to help you. Hit me with your question. Catch me out. Is there anything you think I'm talking out of my butt, or I'm just not speaking in a language that you can understand? If I haven't answered a question, you're kind of there, you're on the fence, you've got a splinter up your butt and you kind of want to get off it. Let me know. Type into the chat. Choose your payment plan. Don't forget, 3 payments of $997 or 2 $850. Get your confirmation email. You'll get all of the bonuses. We'll add you to the group and we'll notify you before the class starts. You've watched the presentation. PT School did not teach you anything that you need to know. And I keep going back to it. Can I type into this chat? I don't know if I can. Panelists and attendees. I'm just going to type this, right? $28.50, right? I'm going to type this. Panelists and attendees, right? Looks, here we go, right? Looks like a lot of money. But when you consider that is 1.5 patients, it is small change in comparison, right? 1 times patient equals $1,500. You are likely losing that each week. Choose wisely. to $850 on your credit card today. Or, right, you ready for those of you sitting on the fence? $1,500 missing from your bank every week for life? Which do you want? There you go. Anybody who's sitting on the fence, let's do this. Can somebody help me with this? $1,500 per week for 52 weeks. Somebody run that calculation. How much is that? 80 grand ish, give or take. Round numbers. 80 grand, we'll settle on 80. 80 grand a week. If you miss out on one patient that you would have got because you enrolled in this program, 80 G's a year, right? How long are you planning on being in business? 10 years? 10 years, right? That's 800K. What can we do with 800K? How about pay off a mortgage? How about pay kids' school fees? Yeah. What about if you've been in business for 20 years? 1.6 million. What can we do with that? Ferrari, right? Repeat after me. Ferrari. Yeah. Bentley. Holiday home in France. Right? I'm serious, guys. Like, this is how you do it. Like, if nothing changes, nothing changes. Like, business doesn't have to be a struggle. The rules and all of these numbnuts who are running these businesses, well, they're not running them, they're getting run by their businesses, will have you believe that it's difficult. And it's difficult because it's all up here in their head. Some of you right now know you need to do this for whatever reason you're not doing it. And you're going to tell yourself you're going to do it in 3 weeks. I'll do it in 6 months. Why? I'll read his books. Why? What would you do that for? Like, this is. I've got a headache, and I'll take the painkillers in 6 months. Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, thanks, doc. I will take the painkillers in 6 months. But I like a bit of pain, and I like struggle because apparently that's the way life's supposed to be. So I'll take the painkillers in 6 months. Thank you, and I'll be back then. Said no one, right? Ever. Have a think. You've got 1 minute. I'm not rushing you, but make your mind up, right? I'm not one to rush you, but come on. Get off the fence. Enroll, but decide in 2 weeks. No, I'm serious. We'd love to have you. We'll take care of you. We'll put you in a group with successful business owners. You'll get your own one-on-one coach. My team will take care of you. They will love you. They will take care of you. They will make sure you're good and golden. Whatever your level of competence with technology is, like, we'll make sure you're totally fine. Jack in Phoenix wants the Ferrari. I want the Ferrari. Absolutely, Jack. You come pick me up, all right? You come pick me up in Orlando when we've got this Ferrari. I'm serious. Like, this is how I think. 80 G's. This is, I know I can get you this every week. I can get you a patient every week that you're currently missing out on as a result of this program. That's 80 G's. 10 years, 800. 20 years, 1.6 mil. Compounded, now we're into mega millions. Enroll today, pay today. Pay today, decide in 2 weeks. Yeah, Russell, that's what that means. So you need to enroll today. So sign up, take credit card out, like enter details, number. So like you get this thing and you type the number in and you do a magical transfer to this guy called Paul, right, with a cool accent. And then what happens is you get about 3 weeks to decide whether or not you like what I'm promising. And if in 3 weeks you think, you know what, this guy's full of shit and I don't like him and he didn't promise, you know, what he promised he hasn't delivered on, you send an email to my team. Rebecca's there. She's amazing. She's fabulous. She responds to your email and says, we have processed your refund and it will be in your bank in 5 days. That's what I mean by decide. So you enroll today. You got to do the transfer, right? A little bit of trust needs to happen. But in 3 weeks, if you don't like it, you email and we give you the money back. So you get 3 weeks to decide. In that time, you can speak to my team. You can speak to some of the clients. You can join the event in Orlando in a couple of weeks virtually. We'll give you a login and you get to decide, actually, do I like this whole Paul thing? Do I like this dude? Or is he just full of crap, right? Like the rest of them. And if you think I'm full of crap like the rest of them, then just hit reply and ask for your money back, right? And I won't be offended. And if, in fact, I'll send you a gift, right? I'll send you something really cool if you do. And I've pissed you off and I've let you down. I'll make sure I make up for it at the other end. But if you do like it, well, then don't ask for your money back and hang around in Paul's world. It's cool. It's like Wayne's world, but better, right? We have more fun. And we make a bit more money, right, than them two. So the choice is yours anyway. Russell, we'd love to have you. come on in. We've got room for you. 28.50. 28.50. 3 payments of 997. Let's get you over the line. We've helped hundreds already. I remember doing this with Jared, and this really, for those of you, a few you said, do you find me on Jared's podcast? I think this was the thing that Jared, when he was starting to grow his business, realized he was just getting whacked in the face. He was bringing in people. He got a ton of work from not having any systems or automation. Jared went through this program the very first time that we did it. And ultimately, that's what he'd said about the impact. It helped decrease his workload, his practice grows, and his profits have grew rather than the opposite. We've had them all go through this program. This was the founding program that a lot of the business experts that you're seeing today actually took and learned from me. So head over, ptprofitacademy.com/BGS. You've got 1 minute. If you've got a question, type into the chat. Let me answer it for you. Get your confirmation email, open your bonus, and start profiting right away. Don't get in that rat race. It is not needed. We can help you avoid the rat race and ultimately help you make more money. Streamline operations and get you in. Put your name above the door, but have others do the work for you. Open more clinics, more locations, give you a business growth plan that leverages automation for rapid growth, and get your PT business into a position so that it could be sold for a handsome 7 figures. And ultimately, speed up the whole process to ensure that you hit the ground running and get it right first time. What price? The cost of doing this on your own will not be worth it. It will not be worth doing this on your own. Come and do it with us, and we'll get this right for you first time. We'd love to have you at ptprofitacademy.com/BGS. Choose your payment plan. I can see people signing up. It's so cool to see you. Daniel, Jonathan, Kira, Chris, Sally. Wonderful. Lee, well done. Great to see. I'm looking forward to working with you in the new program. Right, I'm going to go. If you want the bonuses, do it now. If you're having a problem checking out, let my team know. We'll honor it, but do it as soon as you can. After this, you're going to get a few days to enroll, but the price will go up, the bonuses will go away, and I will not be able to give you anything that I've offered you on this webinar today because it just would not be fair. So enroll right now and get a business education that school did not deliver. ptprofitacademy.com, profitability guarantee, nothing to worry about in terms of making a mistake. We'll put Business Growth School to work in your PT business, and ultimately we'll help you avoid the rat race. Right, I'm off. Unless you've got any questions, I'm going to give you the countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, thank you. Thank you to my team. Thank you to Lisa, to Rebecca, and to Beth in the US and the UK. We're all over the world today. Well done, everybody. Thanks for your time. If this was your first webinar, well done to you for joining. Very, very cool that you hung around for 2.5 hours. You're definitely somebody that I'd like to get to know more. Well done. We'll see you soon. If you want to enroll, you'll get them until Friday. Let my team know. They'll help you out between then and now. You'll get some emails and maybe some phone calls and some follow-up and various different things. So you've got till Friday to decide. We just can't give you the bonuses. That's all. So cool. Well done. Thank you. We appreciate you, and we'll see you soon.